Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into Boulder, Colorado. I'm Joe Paris alongside Mitch Fenton. We're in close quarters, but we're excited to be here, Mitch. Beautiful afternoon for some MCLA action. Number 1 Colorado taking on number 4 Chapman University. Mitch, big game for Colorado. They got to bounce back after the loss to GCU on Saturday.
Yeah, after a 3-goal loss to Grand Canyon, Colorado is really looking to bounce back, but Chapman, a team that is no stranger to these high-pressure games playing against top-ranked opponents, so we're in for another good show today, Joe.
This is a very big game for both teams. We're going to take a look at our Radio 1190 news and notes right now. Both teams coming off of a loss. Chapman played against CSU, and, well, we'll tell you the story about that. Chaptown went all the way up to Fort Collins to take a look at things, and they couldn't quite pull it out. They lost to Colorado State. Their top performers were Scott Jackson, 3 goals. Chris Herman had a goal and 4 assists, but the big number was that Gus Gredinger, the goaltender, had a very low save percentage down at .286, couldn't quite get it going. Again, everyone knows Colorado lost a close one to GCU. Doug Graves had one of the best games of his life, having a huge second half. Jensen Makarov didn't have a spectacular game, but he kept Colorado in that matchup. Also today for Colorado is the senior day. Yes, it's senior day in Boulder. It sounds weird, but today will be the last regular season game from Kit Field of the year. We've got a bunch of seniors on this squad: Griffin Bohm, Austin Kalazi, Mitch Erickson, Connor Irvin, Jay Scan, Doug Graves, Riley Combe, Chris Lefebvre, and Rowan Sloss. We will be honoring them throughout today's broadcast, and make sure to stick around after the game when we are going to have an interview with a few of our seniors to talk about their careers as Colorado Buffaloes. But talking about the defender, Rowan Sloss, one of the seniors on this team, he is part of today's Encore brand matchup of the game. Rowan, the defenseman, the senior leader, had a very good game last weekend against GCU. He also had solid games against Sonoma State and Florida State. He's been that defensive core leader out there. Now that Mitch Fenton isn't in net, someone had to step up and be the Peyton Manning, the sheriff in town, back on the defensive half. And, well, it's going to be a big conversation today. Steve Koressel, he is one of the most powerful attackmen on the Chapman Panthers this year. He's played 9 games. He's got 15 goals. Now, he doesn't have the top in points for Chapman, but he's going to be a guy that's got a right-handed shot that Rowan Sloss is going to have to steal off. And Colorado had lots of trouble with Dean Farrell and Carson Barton from GCU. We're going to see if they can get the defense going today. Mitch, looking at last game against the Lopes, what do you think the biggest thing Colorado needs to do today to get things going?
Well, you know, Colorado had a couple offensive leaders that were out for the game against Grand Canyon. Jay Scan and Kerry Garfinkel both sitting out, but it didn't seem to affect the Buffs too much on the offensive end of the field. They still managed to put up 15 goals. So what we should really be looking for today from Colorado is for them to lock it down defensively and to take away the looks that Chapman has, especially on the crease, forcing them to take those outside shots. I wouldn't be surprised if they were going to remain in their zone, try and force those low percentage shots, and trust their goalie Makarov to keep them in it.
Some other guys to take a look at is Dave Apruzesi. He is a junior attackman that is leading this team. Apruzesi has got some very solid numbers on the year. He's got 15 goals, so Colorado has got to have to keep an eye on him. Goaltenders this afternoon, of course, we'll have Jensen Makarov and Mitch. For Jensen coming out into this game, it feels eerily similar to post-Michigan State last year. What would you suggest Makarov have in the mindset?
Yeah, the best attribute any goalie can have right now is a short-term memory loss, really. He needs to forget about the loss to Grand Canyon and move forward. The 18 goals, you know, it's a rarity for Colorado lacrosse. It doesn't happen too often that a team will put up that many. So look for him to come out and definitely keep Chapman under 10.
And the goaltender tonight for the Chapman Panthers, the captain, Gus Gredinger. The junior is going to see what he can do against Colorado's powerful offense. It's easy to forget, Mitch, that although Colorado has dropped against GCU, they had a very good offensive game.
Yeah, 15 goals is absolutely nothing to sneeze at, and I'm sure the coaches of Colorado were well aware that their offense came out and did their job, and today they really need to focus on getting it done on the defensive end.
So thank you for joining us here on your Monday afternoon and Monday matinee spring break week here at the University of Colorado. From Kit Field, Joe Parison, Mitch Fenton here with you. It is senior day in Boulder. 70 degrees outside, a little bit of wind coming from the east. Perfect lacrosse day for us. Dylan Garner will send it across the formation. It'll come to Connor Riley. Riley's going to streak down the edge. He'll send it behind to X. Misplayed and out of bounds. It was Dave Apruzesi who couldn't quite hang on to it, so Colorado will get their first possession of the afternoon. They'll be sporting the white and black jerseys here at home. Chapman wearing their off gray with red. The Chaptown Panthers having a very strong season under head coach David Hartley. Dallas Hartley. Big game for both teams to prove what they've got here today. Offsides on Colorado. And we are set to go. And Mitch, coming out here, I'm expecting Colorado to come out firing as we see John Clayton knock it off there. Clayton with a good aggressive ride will play it over to Erickson. Erickson can't quite catch it on the backhand attempt. It's going to roll all the way near the end line, but Erickson will pick it up.
That's that good high-pressure ride coming again from Colorado, just trying to force Chapman into those unforced errors and get the ball back.
Jace Gann is out there today for Colorado. He didn't really play at all against GCU. He had one opportunity on the field. He'll flip it behind his back and will be picked up by Gradinger. Gann very frustrated that he didn't get time against GCU as he's nursing that hamstring injury, but he's out there starting this afternoon for John Galvin's squad. So we'll see what he can bring to the table for Colorado. And they really did miss him on Saturday.
Yeah, Gann, not necessarily just one of the guys who's going to go out and score 6 goals every game like we have seen him do, but he's a presence out there on the field. He helps get the offense in order and keeps things moving out there.
Dutra has the ball taken away from him by Rowan Sloss. Sloss is one of those guys on the field today that remembers the loss last year to Michigan State and does not want to have back-to-back losses like Colorado did a year ago to Michigan State and then Arizona State.
It never feels good to slump like that in the middle of your season, to have 2 losses at the same time. It really can be a negative impact.
Bretton Krauto will send it through. I think Makarov actually got a piece of that one, but it goes home. He's shaking his head. The senior captain, Krauto, sneaks it home, and it's 1-0.
Big shot there coming from the defenseman. Got a little bit of space in the restraining box and just powered it by Makarov. Like you said, Joe, he got a piece of it, but just a little bit too much on that one for him to stop it.
So Croteau will make it 1-0 for the Panthers, just underway in the first quarter. 12:43 remaining in our first, and Chapman strikes first, and this is now 3 out of the last 4 games that the opposing team is stricken first against Colorado. Salami will win the draw. He had a tough afternoon against the Lopes back on Saturday. Colorado was taken advantage of big time in the faceoff department, only winning about 20% of the draws.
2 big statistics that came out of that game that I know the coaches were upset about were not only the draws, but also the ground ball game. That's something that Colorado's going to need to improve on today if they want to take down Chapman.
Stoll will receive it on the near side. He'll back down crossing. He'll send it across to Jay Snell. Snell got some extended playing time on Saturday. Played very well. Ryan Stoll will try to streak around the edge, and we're going to get a violation on Colorado, so it'll be Chapman ball. And Mitch, that's back-to-back violations for Colorado.
Yeah, and that seems to be the 3rd or 4th call similar to that in the last 2 games. Colorado really needs to get organized and just stop committing these unnecessary fouls.
Brent Malby will bring it into the offensive half. He lost Graves right off the center line with a fancy footwork. It's Dylan Garner. 11:48 remaining here in our first quarter. 1-0 from Kit Field. A beautiful Monday afternoon. Garner will look it down. Colorado, whose man defense was average at best against the Lopes, went to the zone, which really frustrated Farrell and Barton momentarily, but GCU continued to roll on Colorado. And with the day off yesterday, Coach Galvin still had the boys get together and look at film. So
yeah, they had a nice long film session yesterday as well as a practice, so no rest for the boys in white.
Abrazetti will throw it off the side of the net. A few of the Panthers reacting as if it was a goal, but only off the side of the net this time. Connor Irvin will bring it off into the near half. It'll be brought down by Grant McCannon. McCannon will send it up top. Justin Ruck. Ruck will send it over to the far side. Ben Wharton will send it over to Graves, who just come out of the sideline. Snell looks to make a run down the alley. He'll shoot one overhand. Deflected in front. He'll grab his own rebound. Snell will work it around to the outside. It's Ryan Stoll. Stoll comes across to Graves, coming off of a huge game. Graves goes down, and he'll lose the ball on that play. He lost his footing and just couldn't hang on to it. Frustrating play.
Great man ball play coming from the Chapman defense there. They just swarmed when Graves lost that and got the ball for their team.
Croteau will advance it all the way up the field himself. He'll send it across, but it'll be picked out of the air by Connor Irvin. So Irvin, a great nugget there, will trot around. Colorado will look to break the ride. They did average again against GCU, had all types of trouble, as we see right there. It continues here this afternoon. It'll be played over to Crossell. Crossell fires one and he scores.
Great shot there coming from Crossell, using his defender. You see Connor Irvin out there, just using him as a screen, shooting it to the off-stick low corner on Makarov and torching the goalie.
So the captain, Steve Koressel, sends one home. It's 2-0 now for the Panthers. Mitch, things look eerily similar as they did on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and it seems that it's become a bit of a trend, at least over the past 2 games, that the Buffs have been starting a little bit slow, and it really does come back to bite you later on in the game when you're down a goal or two, and it can be a direct result of that slow start.
We saw in the one game where they got it going against Sonoma State in the first quarter, they really jumped out on top and never looked back, but against Florida State, against GCU, and here this afternoon we're seeing these slow starts, Colorado digging a little bit of a hole for themselves before they get rolling. And Coach Galvin was talking with me after the Florida State game. Although they came away with the victory last weekend, he felt like they never really got out of second gear.
Yeah, the slow start in that one really did continue throughout the entire game, as you saw. A really close finish. Florida State came ready to play. You can't take that away from them, but not the performance that the Buffs would have wanted that weekend.
Sloss will advance it forward to Erickson. Erickson will tiptoe the sideline and bring it into the offensive zone. He'll back down Alex Siegel before sending it up top to Riley Colm. Colm will come over to the near side. It'll be McElvaney. They send around to Erickson. Erickson will go straight to the goal, sends one on net, and a good save there by the goaltender. Gradinger will make a good save on a difficult hop. It came up high, and he fought it off with the stick. Colorado with their aggressive ride here. It's broken swiftly, though. Chapman will bring it over into the near half. It'll be played off to the near side to Koressel. Koressel will be picked up on defense by Zane Larson. Larson will give him the business there. Trying to work it free. He'll draw the double team there. Flying over from the side was Red Miller. Miller will back off. It'll be sent up top for the Panthers. Backdoor. Shot on net is a goal with a little bit of contact there as well. Sending it home is Regan Kelly.
Great work from Chapman's offense, realizing that they were in a transition situation. They had Colorado caught in a sub. They had a 6-on-5 opportunity and buried the goal.
So Regan Kelly will make this 3-0. 8:32 remaining in our first quarter. Colorado looking like they've already gone on spring break, Mitch.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the spring break mentality or what, but right now the Buffs need to pick it up. Chapman came ready to play, and they need to match that intensity.
We got to look for who's going to be that leader that steps up. I know on last year's roster there was a number of guys that you knew were going to step up and say something on the sideline or make a play, but this year with the whole doing everything by committee, it's a different strategy, and someone's got to step up and make the difference as it's thrown away by Colorado. It'll be pushed off into the near half by Aprezzi. Aprezzi will throw one, and he scores, and Colorado is reeling here. They are being knocked over. Dave Aprezzi is fired up, and it's 4-0.
Pure hustle coming from Aprezzi, just working hard to get a goal for his team. Colorado initially won the draw, but he got the ball back. It saw a clear line to the net, and he took it.
A lot of long faces over on the Colorado sideline. Eerily similar to a year ago when Colorado came off of a loss to Michigan State and came out a little bit slow against Arizona State. Mitch, a game that you guys were in late, but started out slow.
Yeah, like I said, we started slow, and it really did have an impact on the rest of the game. We ended up losing by 2. It was 8-6, relatively low-scoring game considering the two teams that were playing in that one. And it really all does come back to that slow start that we had in those 2 losses early in our season last year.
So Aprezzi, who has been on fire for the Panthers as of late, will add another tally. That'll be his 16th goal of the year. Colorado will finally get it off into the offensive half and look to start the offense. Graves, swing onto the scene. He'll come over now up top to Ryan Stoll. Stoll will look back to Graves. He's got Snell with him. Snell will send it over to Graves. Graves looks to go to work on his man. He'll have to trigger outside now to Ryan Stoll. Comes across now to Snell. Snell will spin around a defender, almost loses his footing, goes back door, trying to hit a quick stick. Colorado unable to send that one home. It's going to come out of bounds, and it'll be a possession with the Chapman Panthers.
That's a good look coming from Snell. He had a man backside, but they just weren't able to connect.
Colorado will take on the 10-man ride. An aggressive strategy we've seen work and not work throughout this year. Against Florida State, it did wonders. Against GCU, it got Colorado into a little bit of trouble on their transition game. Panthers, though, will advance it across.
Great work by Chapman to beat that 10-man ride.
Makarov will get back into his crease. Sliding down almost is Dylan Garner. Garner, though, will hang out towards X. Zach Doss will work him over back there. Garner will give the ball up right onto the near sideline. It'll be Chris Herman. Herman will draw the attention of Zane O'Brien. Herman directing a little bit of traffic out there. We'll send it up top. Comes to Regan Kelly. Kelly comes to the near side. Connor Riley will swap positions back with Chris Herman. Herman will send it in down low. 6:45 remaining in our first quarter. 4-0 in favor of the Chapman Panthers. Kelly. Herman works it around the bend. Colorado doing a good job keeping their spacing. Their backside rotations against GCU are slow. Seeing the adjustment here this afternoon. Riley. He'll back down Graves. Comes behind now to X. Trying to make it work there is Coressel.
Good defense coming from Zane Larson, using his body as his man got to goal line extended.
Coressel will send it up top to Herman. Herman will send it around the edge. 6:12 remaining in our first quarter. 4-0 in favor of the Chapman Panthers. It's Herman who's going to come down the near side. He'll be pushed off, though, by O'Brien. Herman will back it out. They'll try again. It'll be Garner. Garner will go to work on Dawes. Works around him. Spins into a double team. Gets decked from behind, and that's going to draw a penalty on Colorado, a violation of sorts.
Looked like Rowan Sauce was called for a hold there.
So the Panthers will keep in possession. Extended possession now for the Panthers. Colorado looking for answers here early. A rare Monday afternoon game. Herman will send it down low. Coressel gets him with a return pass. Herman will move it to Kelly. Herman calling for a movement up top. It's Garner.
Good deliberate offense coming here from Chapman.
Seen a little bit of inside movement. Finally coming around the edge will be Herman. Herman wanted the shooting lane and said he'll back off. O'Brien will find him back at X. 5 minutes remaining here in our first quarter. Riley going right to X. Herman looking around the edge again. This is great pacing right now for the Panthers. They've got nothing to rush to against this fast Colorado offense. They don't want to get caught in a running game. Garner sends it up top to Kelly. Kelly will send it to the far side to Riley. Riley comes down low. Wild shot coming off the stick of Apruzesi. And Mitch, this is kind of reminding me of Team USA and Team Canada in the World Lacrosse Championship Finals. Team Canada, a very deliberate pace after coming out firing against USA and basically taking away as much clock as possible. Colorado's defense, though, will hold on here. It'll be a turnover from the Panthers, and Colorado will look to get things rolling here. 4:18 remaining here in our first quarter. Keon Reno, a freshman, will send it in over.
Reno, a guy who the coaches are really excited to have back out on the field. He's been very ill for a lot of the school year, kind of living in that dorm. Your immune system gets attacked from all angles, but their coaches are really happy to see him out there finally.
Keon Reno is a freshman who has got a lot of talent, and he's, again, as Mitch said, been hindered by some health problems, but once he's at full strength, he's a guy that's going to turn a lot of heads. Part of this next generation of Colorado lacrosse. Apruzesi will spin out of a circle. Colorado, again, unable to get anything going here on offense, and Mitch, I look just as puzzled as they do, trying to figure it out here. It just isn't clicking.
Yeah, they're getting the ball settled every now and again, but they're just not getting the shots that they want, whether it's coming off of a turnover or a save from the goalie. They just haven't been able to get the looks that they've wanted. Chapman on the other side is doing really well at controlling the pace, being patient, and getting the good looks, and it shows on the scoreboard as they're up 4-0 right now.
And Colorado was rolling towards the end of that GCU game. They had a very strong third and fourth quarter. They were moving quick in the offensive zone. The defense was a little less to be desired from as a bouncing shot goes wildly high from Nevin Marcy. But the Buffs coming out slow this afternoon. A lot of lacrosse to be played, though. It's a game of runs, of course.
And if you actually look at the breakdown from that Grand Canyon game for the Buffs, they allowed 7 goals in the first quarter, and then I believe second in the second quarter, 2 in the second quarter, 1 in the third, and then the remainder in the fourth. So not a complete 60 minutes coming from the Buffs, but clearly some moments of brilliance, but a rough go of it altogether.
It'll be put in front to Coressel. He'll fire one and he scores. It's 5-0.
And Chapman really looks great right now, whether it's in transition or in their settled offense. They're just getting good looks. Those inside 10-yard shots that Makarov, has a shot at, but those are the shots that Chapman wants to take, and they're finishing them.
A lot of guys on the sideline as I glance across the field looking at each other. Has to say, what's going on here? Chapman comes in, a top team in the country. They're number 4. They did have a tough loss to CSU. You wonder how much they spent on that game, though, knowing that they would take the number 1 team in the country here today. Chapman looking like they've got plenty left in the tank, though, here at altitude. Narrowly avoiding a collision near the sideline was Banks. Banks gets rid of it, though. It'll be sent backdoor. Firing and scoring will be Ben Wharton. And finally, Colorado will get on the board. A little bit of a sarcastic cheer from the bench. Ben Wharton waiting for it on the doorstep. Sends it home, and it's 5-1.
Great transition offense. Sam Banks does a great job to use his body and just kind of keep the ball in bounds and then move it back into play. Penn Lukens had his head up and got the ball to a short stick, and then it was tic-tac-toe offense from there, Joe.
Yeah, Jack Polk did a nice job on the near side, moving it back door, drawing the defender, and finding Wharton on the doorstep for a quick stick. So Colorado stops the bleeding momentarily with 2:20 remaining in our opening quarter. Make sure to tweet in your thoughts through @JoeParis and @Mitchie_Bags with nominations for player of the game, as well as your thoughts on this afternoon's game and broadcast. We love the Twitter. Salami will win it forward. We're going to get illegal procedure on Chapman, so it'll stick with Colorado. Salami doing a good job there, winning the draw when it most mattered. And, I noticed that when the draws become more significant, Clark gets that extra edge. He gets that look in his eye like, he's going to win it.
Clark's just a highly competitive individual in general. Absolutely crushed him when he was out for 6 months with his ACL injury. So he's back out there and ready to make some plays this season.
New attack unit out there for Colorado. Riley Coleman's got it right now. He'll back down the defender, Herman. It'll be sent around. Wharton. Wharton looks like he's got a little bit extra here this afternoon. He's got that skip in his step that you sometimes look for. You don't know who's going to have it, but it looks like Wharton's got it today. McElvain will try to come around the edge. He goes down. There's been a bunch of guys slipping on this turf this afternoon, Mitch. I'm not sure what it is. Near the crease we've had on both ends. Guys just eating the dust.
Not usually what you see on a turf field.
No, definitely not. Minute 22 remaining here in our first quarter. 5-1 Panthers. Colorado looking for a big bounce-back game after they fell to the GCU Lopes back on Saturday afternoon. That final was 18-15. Colorado fought it out towards the end, but the defense just couldn't hang on. And Coach Galvin, talking to me right after the game, said there are some big changes that are coming. So we get the cloud cover now over Boulder, so hopefully our camera's bright enough for you guys at home. Kressel will send it around the bend, and we're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get timeout from the Panthers. Coach Dallas is going to take a timeout with 48.7 remaining here in our first quarter. Mitch, big storyline here in the first. Colorado coming out slow. They get an opportunity here with time ticking down in the first quarter to maybe take a deep breath. But what type of strategy, what can you do to combat yourselves? Because right now Colorado is in a battle with themselves out there.
It's a combination of Colorado coming out slow, and Chapman really also just came out extremely well. Like I said before, whether it was transition or their settled offense, they've really come out to play. On the defensive end, you've seen their goalie tested maybe once or twice, but Colorado just hasn't been able to get the shots that they want. And I think that's what they're going to need to do. They haven't really possessed the ball that much in this first quarter, and that's the big difference. If they're possessing the ball, it's going to obviously slow Chapman's offense down and give them the opportunities that they need to put some goals up on the scoreboard.
So we'll take a look at Twitter. Mitch, I don't have any tweets coming in. Oh, now I do have one. No, I don't. It's from Ryan Wallace, who's across the field. Ryan is doing the game on internet radio across the field with Lax Talk Radio. Ryan and I worked together at the MCLA National Tournament calling Colorado and I believe we called Colorado and Minnesota Duluth, a game that Colorado came out violently slow. Riley Siddell sat out the first half of that game, and that really hurt the team, but in the second half, the Buffs bounced back. You guys actually went into that halftime trailing, I believe.
Yeah, we came out really slow in our first game at that national tournament. I think I've chosen to block a lot of that out from my memory, so I couldn't tell you exactly what happened, but trailing at halftime sounds about right for kind of the emotions that I have associated with that night.
So out of the timeout, 48.7 seconds remaining up on the clock in the first quarter, 5-1 in favor of the Chapman Panthers. Connor Riley, we picked up by Blake Irwin. It'll be sent around the bend. It'll come to Chris Herman. Ominous clouds striking in behind our broadcast right now. I know we're expecting rain later in the day. Hopefully it'll wait until this broadcast is over. 30 seconds remain in the first quarter. Herman will direct traffic up top. Salami will inch out towards midfield to make him try and make a move. Irwin will do the same, following suit behind Riley. Riley will move around Irwin. He'll send it in behind. Over on GLE is Coressel. Coressel, who had a pair of early goals, will spin away from O'Brien and Irvin. Irvin and Coressel doing battle here on the near side. Comes across, firing one and going top shelf is Regan Kelly.
Great skip pass to an even better finish. That was an absolute missile to the top corner. That was just great offense coming from Chapman.
Makarov knew where the ball was going to be, too. He had the stick ready to move high to high, but ball beat him there, and the Panthers are up 6-1. 3.9 ticks remaining in this opening quarter, and Colorado continues to look over at each other as to say, who has the answer, boys?
Yeah, and someone's going to have to step up right now. We've seen in the past couple games it's been Johnny Clayton or Jace Gann, or last time it was Doug Graves, but someone on the Buffs has been coming alive to kind of light that fire under their feet, so we'll see who it is today.
Chapman will win the draw. It'll be won by Benji Whitmore. Whitmore will hang on to it, and he'll go back to an electrified Chapman Panthers bench.
And an impressive first quarter from Chapman. I can't say enough about it. They really came ready to play today, and it's not like they're doing anything out of the ordinary. They're running their offense. They're finding the looks that they want. They're moving well off ball. And on the defensive end, they're just forcing Colorado to take the low percentage shots. So if they can keep that up for this game, Colorado's going to have a really hard time for the rest of the day.
The real difference, I think, between this afternoon's game for Chapman and against CSU the other day is the styles of play. Coach Galvin's squad is a big run-and-gun type team that likes to try to move in transition, try to work those skip passes around. And the difference is that CSU is a real, I guess you could call old-school style. They're going to try to grind you out. They're going to wear you down. And, they don't have the highest-powered offense in the world, but we're seeing that Chapman had a hard time with that, as do some teams. That's why CSU really has become a dynasty in the MCLA over the last decade. But here against Colorado, a much more fast-paced game, Chapman's having an easier time.
CSU is one of the programs that relies significantly less on individual talent and more on the system. Alex Smith has been the head coach there now for some years, so they know what they need to do to win, and they've shown that by winning back-to-back MCLA national championships, and I believe they have 6 all time. So they know what to do, they know how to win, and it's their system that really works for them. It's a similar story here in Colorado, but it's just not what we've seen in the last couple games. That last year there was a little bit more individual talent on the team, but in the first couple games of this season coming through up until recently, Colorado did have that team dynamic and it looked really good. But these last 2 games have called it into question a little bit. But don't count them out. Look for them to come out in this second quarter and really wake up, especially on the offensive end, start taking the shots that they want to take and giving up better shots on the defensive end.
I'd like to take this time to thank our partners for the year. Of course, first over at Encore Brand Lacrosse, John Christmas and his entire organization doing great things both on and off the field. They travel around the world. I was actually watching the other night a documentary from when they went to Ecuador. They did some incredible things down there, both in the community and growing the game of lacrosse. And also thanking our other partnership for the year, Radio 1190, KVC Boulder, your home for CU men's lacrosse. Make sure to tune in tonight at 6 p.m. on Radio 1190 AM in Boulder or on radio1190.org for the CU Lacrosse post-game show. Joey Prechtel and myself will be there. And depending on the schedules of the coaches, we may have Ben Wise, Marty Taffin, and maybe even John Galvin if he can fit it into the schedule.
He's a busy guy around campus, but I would imagine for senior day, hopefully he could take a second to have a little talk with you guys.
Coach Galvin wearing many different hats here at the university. He works the athletic department where, last weekend he woke up to go to work. He was here at 5 a.m. to get ready for the CU football spring game. Worked all the way up until about 45 minutes before the game, and then raced over here and coached a lacrosse game. Had a quick bite to eat, chatted for about 5 minutes, and he was back over to Folsom Field to help end that afternoon.
Just a busy guy, Joe.
A humble workhorse. But right now, he's having a tough time trying to figure out this Chapman Panthers defense. Colorado only scoring once in that first quarter. And if you were to tell me that yesterday, I would say, no, they'll probably have at least 5.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were really expecting Colorado to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder coming out of that last game and come out and maybe, start swinging at Chapman, but it's really been the other way around after the last 15 minutes.
We're set to play, though. 15 minutes up on the clock for our second quarter. Colorado will win the face-off forward. Sam Banks doing a magnificent job. He loses the ball here right inside the restraining box. It'll be poked away from him. This is a big ground ball possession. Clark Salami almost gets it up. And we're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get a push on the Panthers. So Colorado will take it. Wharton's got a little bit of speed, but he'll hold up. Buffs need to cash in here. Graves will fire one. That one goes wide. It'll be backed up, though, by Wharton. Johnny Clayton has come on, as well as Jace Gann. Those two finished off the first quarter on the bench. We'll see if maybe got a different attitude here in the second quarter. New perspective. Snell will move it around to Clayton. Clayton will find Stoll on the far side. Very serious demeanor on the Colorado bench right now.
Yeah, not the normal pep that you see coming from the Colorado sideline.
Nothing reminiscent of the Maryland mosh pit, as Wharton will send one bouncing high and out of bounds. Gann, though, will be the first one there. Gann, again, who is nursing a hamstring injury, electing to play this afternoon. Coach is allowing him to. He looks all right. A little bit slower than usual. He's got that brace on his right leg. He'll receive some checks from Zach Dutra. He'll back off to GLE. He'll whip it around to Snell. Snell will come up top now to Ryan Stoll. 13:49 remaining here in the first half. Stoll will come around with a little bit of speed. Looks to get the edge. Looked at Clayton. Instead, he'll send it back up top. Snell looks to move in. Fires one. That one goes wide. A little bit of contact with Dutra. Stoll, though, will back it up. Gann calling for the ball on the near side. He'll grab it. Looks to go right 2X. He's going to move in front. Fires one, and he scores. We're going to get a flag up in the air as well. I believe the goal will count as he tiptoed that crease. Is that going to be a slash, I believe, after the play?
If it's after the play, we're going to see Colorado start with possession. And the flag is not going to be waved off because it was a personal foul. It's a 1-minute slashing penalty. And depending on when it occurred, Colorado will start with the ball. So
Colorado has cut into this lead a little bit. Jace Gann will make it 6-2. Gann a little bit. I think he's noticeably slower. I don't know about you, Mitchie, but for me, he just doesn't look like he's got that spark that he usually does.
Yeah, I would never describe Jace Gann as slow, but certainly doesn't appear to be at 100% today. A little bit less fire under his feet, and just doesn't have that same explosiveness that he usually does.
So Colorado will have a 1-minute advantage here on the slashing penalty after the goal. So 13:33 remaining in the second quarter. Whistle on the face-off will be a violation on Chapman, so it'll be with Colorado. It will be Riley Combe.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the second violation coming against Chapman in this half. If they get another one, it will be a 30-second penalty.
And there's a lot of time left in this second quarter. 13:22. Colorado down by 4, but showing some life. Clayton to Combe. Colorado still man up for about 45 seconds. It comes to Erickson. Erickson to go to McElvaney. He'll rotate it over to Gann. Gann moves the stick before it gets there. Took his eye off the ball. Now is juggling with it in the corner. Finally will pick it up. McElvaney to Graves now. Chapman with the good backside rotation. Clayton wanted the shot, but he's going to have to work it around the bend the other way. It'll come counterclockwise. Graves wants it, takes it, deflected in front. Combs going to beat the goaltender there. He runs into him, though, instead of going for the ball. Still loose. Gradinger for the Panthers is going to scoop it out. And the goaltender way out of his crease, making a very impressive play on the man down. So the Panthers will break it out and kill off the rest of this man disadvantage, but the goaltender back there, Gradinger, huge play.
Yeah, and Gradinger looks to be a goaltender similar to that of Jensen Makarov. Comfortable with coming out of the net and making the athletic play for his team.
Nice play by Riley. Riley in the slot, fires one, and a great save by Makarov. Makarov will get it out of there. It'll come to Doug Graves. Graves will use his body to shield himself. He's got a wheels train coming all the way down. He looks in front. He'll slow it up finally, taking a few shots from Apruzesi.
Great work from Chapman's D, just a slow transition down, let their guys get in after killing off that long penalty.
Erickson to Combe. 11:57 remaining in the second quarter. We are back to even strength. Combe will receive it at GLE. He'll go one-on-one with Herman. Comes around the edge. Combe will send a wild one.
It's a great move from Combe. Definitely got some space after beating his man topside. If he can get that on net, that's a great opportunity.
Triggered back into play. It'll be Colin McElvaney. McElvaney will find Graves. Graves will return it to him. 11:35 remaining. McElvaney looks to come across the edge. He's met there by the defender, Alex Siegel. To X. That's a play you'd usually see Gann try to take himself, but he passed it over to Combe. Combe comes up top now to Erickson. Erickson to McElvaney. McElvaney fires one, he scores!
And an absolute rocket from Colin McElvaney to the near pipe, upper corner. Great offense, and that might just be what the Buffs need to get them back into this game.
The freshman from Maryland sends it home. There's a tag team of Maryland Maulers on this team. One plays goaltender, and one scores a goal.
Yeah, 2 second semester freshman transfers didn't like the environment over at Maryland, whether it be on the lacrosse field or in the classroom. And
could be the snow.
Could be the snow. That East Coast weather is hard to live with, but
it was brutal.
Glad they came out here and decided to make some impact for us.
Big pickup here. In the MCLA, if you get guys coming in that semester, that's always a huge boost. We see it in ACHA club hockey. Isaacson will take it. Helix in front to Gann. Gann couldn't quite get the stick on it, which really is something that plagued Colorado against GCU. That's a great play by Hart Wise to scoop it out of there and bring it back into play for Colorado. They would have guys wide open in the slot, and they take their eye off the ball or just couldn't get into their net. And really good positioning areas for Colorado against GCU, but they couldn't finish.
Great job by Hart Wise, just pulling the ball out and getting it settled, just so not to lose another easy possession for his team.
Wise goes down. He's trying to get rid of it. He plays it forward. He'll be grabbed out of the air by Gus Gradinger momentarily. He'll play it over, though, to Zach Dutra. Dutra will be chased down by Gann. Gann will force him to give it up, but waiting for it on the near sideline. For the Chapman Panthers is P.J. Titterton. Titterton will play it back to Gradinger. Gradinger will advance it over to Krauto. Colorado on the 10-man ride will force a break up here as Ryan Stoll will pick it up off the ground from Apruzesi. Stoll will near it off. He looks towards Gann. He'll take it himself. Coming around the corner, Nevin Morrissey will push him off towards the sideline. Snell, who just came on for Colorado, will rotate it back to Graves. 9:55 remaining in the second. 6-3 is our score. Graves will come around. Justin Jones will try to knock it free. Graves will give it up now behind. At X is Wise. Gann's waiting for it on the doorstep. Wise tries to come around the corner. He'll give it up to Clayton. Clayton fires one, and that one's going to go just off the side of the post. Might have even gotten a piece of it. A good look, though, from Clayton. Clayton, one of those guys that he can catch fire. He can go from both sides, although he is a righty. Snell will handle a wild pass. Looks to come off of a screen. Rolling backdoor is Wise. Comes now to Clayton. Clayton looks to come around the bend. Tries to scoop it underhand. A creative shot is broken up, though. The goaltender, Gradinger, will pick it up. So big field play for Gradinger. And a big check coming over is pushed off. Rowan Sloss couldn't quite take out his man, Brent Melby.
Yeah, Rowan had him teed up there, but just took a little bit too shallow of an angle, and his man was able to roll off it and still get the ball downfield.
So the Panthers will have their first sustained possession here of the second quarter with 8:47 remaining in the half. Panthers will have a deliberate pace as it comes in behind Apruzesi. Connor Riley will receive a pass as we're going to get a flag up in the air. So a free possession now for the Panthers. Wyatt Miller sends it up top to Garner. Garner will back off towards midfield. He'll trot it over in the direction of Herman. Herman will go one-on-one with Blake Irwin. Irwin will push him off the edge. He'll draw the double team. Herman hangs on to it, though. 8 minutes remaining in our second quarter, 6-3 game on Monday afternoon. Panthers here with a delayed penalty in their favor. Spinning back door, a shot is going to go wide. I think Makarov might have even gotten a piece of that one as it go flying out of bounds, but we're going to get a penalty on Colorado. So their first man down situation of the quarter. Can't see from here, but I do believe on the penalty was Rowan Sloss. It looks like it is Rowan who is in the box over for Colorado.
Oh, yeah, that's Rowan. Rowan, no stranger to the penalty box in my time at CU.
An aggressive player, sometimes too aggressive. Apruzesi will move it in around. Kressel moves it forward. A shot on net is bounced wide. Scott Jackson didn't quite get the angle he wanted.
Great
good
hustle
job
coming
by
from Zach Doss there to get the ball back.
Doss does a great job there to back up the play, so Colorado will look to kill off this man down. Isaacson will take it for the Buffs. Comes to Wise. Wise up top for Riley Colm. Colm will look in the direction of Wharton. He'll hit him there. Colorado knowing they've got a little bit of time to kill off here, so they'll play catch. Clayton's got it. Clayton will come to Erickson.
Colorado's done a much better job here in this second quarter. 6-3 is by no means a game that has gotten out of control for them. A 3-goal deficit is, like we say, nothing in the sport of lacrosse. So they've done a much better job shutting them down on the defensive end, and clearly have started to produce here on offense as well.
Erickson tries to come around the corner and send one home, and it'll be wildly out of bounds, but kept in play by Colorado. Will be Wise, who will grab it from the sideline. We're back to even strength. Colin McElvaney will send it across to Johnny Clayton. Much different looking team for Colorado in this second quarter.
And we see Chapman jumping into a little bit of a zone look here to try and take a bit of the edge off of this Colorado offense.
Colm will go to McElvaney. McElvaney will send one and he scores. A rocket going far side. Colin McElvaney, his second of the afternoon. It's 6-4 in favor of Chapman.
And I think Gradinger was just caught a little bit off guard on that one. That's exactly the shot that you want to give up if you're jumping into that zone for Chapman. It's an outside shot. It was stick side high from pretty far out, but just caught a little bit off guard, and it just beat him low.
So the Buffs doing a good job this quarter to cut into that lead. They only trail by 2 now after trailing by 5 earlier. See how Chapman responds, though, now that Colorado's gone on a little bit of a run. Colin McElvaney, though, the freshman, making it count here this afternoon. We're looking for guys to step up. The freshman making it count. It'll be won by Colorado. It'll be pushed forward now. Clayton will send it across. St. O'Brien. O'Brien comes behind to X. In front now to Wise. Wise fires one. It is taken from behind. It looks like someone stick lifted him as he was following through. That one wildly high.
Good collapse defense from Chapman, getting a stick on Hart Wise and forcing that shot over the crossbar.
Wharton to Colm. Colm will fish it with one hand. He'll escape using his speed over to Clayton. Clayton to Erickson. 5:58 remaining here in this second quarter. Buffs fighting back. Erickson will move around the defender, Titterton. Comes behind to X. Wharton spinning away. Scoops it. Snell fakes a shot. Good dodge as a shot goes right into the netting of Gradinger.
And that's McElvaney again, just looking to do a little too much on that one. Put a great move on his first defender, but still was forced to take the outside shot and right into the stick of the goaltender.
Chapman will break the ride. Colorado will try to push him all the way into the sideline, but Connor Riley goes down. It'll be taken away by Colorado. Coming the other way will be Rowan Sloss. Sloss has got it. The long pole wants a shot. Instead, he gives it up to Clayton. Clayton will move around the defender, fires one, and it goes just wide. And it's going to be backed up, though, by Gradinger. A good hustle play by the Chapman goaltender.
Yeah, the goaltender getting a little lucky on that one. Just called it being closer to the ball as the shot went out. Ben Wharton hadn't had a chance to get moving yet and was just a little bit behind the keeper on that one.
Under 5 to go in our second quarter. Buffs fighting back after trailing after a slow start. And a good breakup from Hart Wise. The bounce doesn't go their way, but Wise with a good defensive effort. It'll be played up top to Connor Riley. Riley will look over towards Blake Irwin. The smaller Irwin will trot away. Riley will give it up. It's Regan Kelly. Kelly's got 2 goals this afternoon. Sends it in deep for Apruzesi. Sent around the circle for the Panthers. Finally looking to isolate was Riley. Riley will spin out of a play. Comes in backdoor, unguarded, a shot and goal. Regan Kelly, his 3rd of the afternoon. No one saw him there on the back door.
It's a similar shot we saw Chapman score on about a quarter ago. The good skip pass coming across the middle into a really, really wide open step down, and that's just a tough shot to save if you're Jensen Makarov.
So Chapman responding after Colorado went on a little bit of a run. And I'm looking down on the sideline. There's some long faces here on the fan side as well as on the player side. Make sure to stay tuned during halftime. We got a very special guest from Japan joining us, Kei Moroi, the head coach at the University of Japan for lacrosse. He'll be joining us during the intermission to talk about his trip here in Boulder and about lacrosse overseas in Asia. Salami wins it forward. It's loose there on the end line. A good scoop play by Hart Wise as he's pushed out of bounds. I believe we actually are going to get a timeout. Colorado did have possession, so a heads-up play there by Coach Galvin. So with 3:52 remaining in the second quarter, Colorado will keep possession.
Great timeout call just to retain possession. He saw that Hart Wise was about to get swallowed by 3 Chapman players on the near sideline and wisely burned one of his timeouts.
All right, let's see. What do we got here for the Twitter mailbag, Mitchie? We got one from Andrea Burrell. She says, awesome coverage, thank you. Burrells are watching from Austin, Texas and cheering on Chaptown. David Sham says, I'm from Colorado but play college Lax in LA. Tough to pick a favorite from Chapman Lax and CU men's lacrosse. Well, David, thanks for sending in your thoughts. And make sure everyone at home, I know you may be at work right now. I know back on the West Coast it may be nearing the end of the lunch hour, so you might have to head back to your cubicle, but sneak it on. We have the live stream for you. Tweet it at us at Joe Paris and at Mitchie_Bags. Mitchie, you got anything on your end?
No, just some retweets. Nothing fun.
Retweets are huge, man. 3:52 remaining in our first half. This is senior day for Colorado. And Mitch, there's a bunch of seniors on this field that you've played with that, I mean, the final time of the regular season at Kidd Field, you're just kind of waiting for one of them to step up and get it going.
Yeah, it's a little bit early in the season to really be thinking about senior day, but when you look at the rest of the Buffs' schedule, it really is true. It's the last game that they're going to have on Kittredge Field.
Seniors for Colorado is Gann, Garfinkel, Kalazi, Lefebvre, Graves, Irvin Sloss, Doss, McKinnon, Stoll, Coleman, Erickson.
And it looks like we're going to have a penalty called on the far sideline. When you see a flag go down in an intermission like that, it's usually because one of the sticks that the officials checked was illegal. As you see, Justin Tuck, it looks like, taking a knee there in the box for Colorado. So depending on how severe the infraction was, it's going to be a penalty going against Colorado, and I can't really tell if it's locked in or not, but look for Chapman to put up another goal on this extra man opportunity.
Huge break for the Panthers as Ruck is sitting over there having a conversation with the scorer's table. But Colorado did pull out a nifty play as Coach Galvin called timeout as they had the ball against the sideline. But off of the stick infraction, it appears it'll be the Panthers that get an extra possession. Good break for them. Kelly will work it around. Herman up top. Aprizesi will send it around. 3:33 remaining in our second quarter. Chapman is man up right now. Herman goes back toward Aprizesi. A wild pass is corralled. Kelly, who's got 3, will move it over. Herman back to Aprizesi. Goes right back to Herman. Those two will have a 2-man game. They'll have the third down low. Karessel, who's got 2 of his own this afternoon, moves it in close. Shot on net, and a great save by Makarov. Makarov going 5-hole, hitting the deck with the net. And a big save for Colorado. Ruck is still in the box. It looks like it was at least a minute for the stick violation. Colorado looking to break this ride, though. Riley Cohn will try to use his legs. He looks over towards Ryan Stoll. He's going to have to try to escape. He's got Isaacson open on the near half. He'll hit Isaacson there to clear it. 2:38 remaining in the second quarter. 7-4 MCLA Monday afternoon matchup between the number 4 ranked Chapman Panthers and the number 1 ranked Colorado Buffaloes. It's Ryan Stoll. Stoll will come around the edge. Looks to go in. Shot saved by Gradinger. Bounces over, trying to scoop at it. Wharton couldn't quite convince it home. Graves has got it on the near side. Dangled as he wanted to shoot. Combs sends one in and he scores. Riley Combs sends a low one. And that tracked itself into the back of the net. 7-5.
Great job by Colm to put the ball low there. Again, using the traffic that's in front of him to screen the goaltender a little bit. And a better shot selection, really. Stolga had a great opportunity and took a good shot, but it went right off the goalie's face mask. He's been pretty solid today, high, except for the 2 lefty rips coming from Colin McElvaney. So good job by Colm to mix up the shot selection and put it low.
So 2:16 remaining in the first half. 7-5 is our score. Huge matchup for both of these teams. Both top 5 teams coming off of a loss.
And there it is. That's the third face-off violation by Chapman in this half, and it's going to be a 30-second penalty going against the Panthers.
So Colorado will get a man-up opportunity here. Back with the 13-minute mark remaining in this quarter. Chapman tallied 2 quick face-off violations. Took them about 10 minutes to get their third, but Colorado will now see dividends of 3 violations in a quarter.
And that resets at halftime, Joe, but 30 seconds of man down is a great opportunity for the Buffs to maybe come back and inch within 1 going into halftime.
Just when it looks like Chapman may be able to pour it on and run away, Colorado just cuts them off, fights back. And they look calm out there, too. They don't look like they're panicking. McElvaney to Gann. McElvaney is feeling it here this afternoon. He'll find Erickson. Erickson to Graves. Graves to Colm. Colm to Clayton. Colm. Graves looks across the formation. Waiting for it on the back door is Riley Colm. He's got to stick up, and he's wide open if they can get it across there quickly with a skip pass. Graves will hit him there. The defender gets over in time.
Got to give credit to Chapman's defense. Colm is wide open, like you said, on the backside, but all 5 of their defensemen have their sticks up in those passing lanes, and they're making Colm's job very, very hard.
Well, the captain, Zach Dutra, with a great backside rotation. We're going to get a timeout from Colorado. Coach Galvin wants to draw something up here with the man down, still about 10-15 seconds left on it with 1:49 remaining in our first half. And what do you expect to see Coach Galvin draw up? Because he doesn't usually come out with set plays.
No, and especially on our man up, at least going back to last year and what I've heard about the team this year, there are very few set plays, and they really just look for the guys to go out there and you'll hear Ben Wise or John Galvin say it a lot, just go out there and play lacrosse, go out there and be an athlete, and that's really what it is, just going out there and having a good feel for the field and getting out there and just saying, hey, if there's space there, I need to fill it, and if you have a good shot, taking it. So look for his guys to go out there and get at least 1 shot off on net, and hopefully it's one inside the perimeter like they want.
A few tweets coming in. One from former assistant coach Marcus McCain. McCain now a coach down at Alabama. Marcus says, loving the broadcast by Joe and Mitch. All the way from Bama this weekend, eerily similar to last year's ASU, MSU losses. And yeah, Marcus, I was talking with Marty Tappet right before the game, assistant coach for Colorado, and he said the exact same thing.
That has been the theme of the day, people kind of relating this recent struggle to the same kind of dip we had in our schedule last year. So very astute observation by Marcus, and all the best of luck to him down there with Alabama. Keep that tide rolling.
Also a tweet coming in from the Doss family. They're watching from New Jersey, so hope you guys are enjoying your Monday afternoon. Colorado will turn it over. Ugly start to that set play. That's got to be as frustrating as possible. You call a timeout to draw something up, and you give the ball away. So it'll be Chapman with 1:30 remaining in our first half. They've got a 2-goal lead, and they've got possession. And Mitch, they will probably do similar things to GCU towards the end of the half, and they'll try to run the clock down.
Yeah, look for them just to slow the ball down, work the ball around a couple of times, and then put in the effort for the best shot that they can get.
1:10 remaining in the half. Feldman will take it. Feldman will push it over to Kevin Leak. Leak will send it down low behind to X. Played off to the near side of Wyatt Miller. Miller will move it back. Feldman, Leak. And we're going to get a timeout, I believe, from Chapman. Coach Hartley not liking what he's seeing, so they'll try their things at a set play with 57.3 remaining in the second quarter.
And that's a wise time to use a timeout. What you want to avoid in a situation like that is having the referees put a timer on you with, like you see right here, about 57 seconds left. You don't want to have them put the timer on with 50 seconds left to go in the half, and that forces you to take a shot with 20 seconds left. So Coach Hartley taking that timeout, what it does is it basically resets the timer that hasn't been put on yet. The refs will reset their thinking, and you can definitely expect that Chapman won't have a timer put on because there's so little time left in this half, Joe.
And looking into, I guess, the end of the first half into halftime, Colorado has made the correct adjustments, it appears, and Chapman has also made a few adjustments here in the second quarter. But, I mean, the big difference for Colorado is they finally got that offense clicking here in the second quarter. And in the first, they just looked lost. It wasn't that they weren't even getting good shots. They just weren't falling.
And it looks like they figured it out on both sides of the ball a little bit. Only 2 goals allowed in this quarter, if I'm not mistaken, while they've put up 4 for themselves. So definitely figured it out on both sides of the ball. The shots have started falling. Colin McElvaney had a nice little 5-minute run for himself where he put up 2 big ones. So if he can go out there in the second half and keep that going, that'd be great. But right now the Buffs need to focus on getting out of this quarter with the score remaining at 7-5.
McElvaney leads the way with 2 goals for Colorado. Wharton, Gann, and Colm also have added tallies here in the first half. It'll be the Panthers, though, with under a minute remaining. Herman will draw Salami. Salami will try to work it free with his long pole. Herman, though, will send it in behind. Herman's had the hot pocket this afternoon. He's been a really good distributor. He's got it now. Chris Herman, a senior captain on this team, will find Dylan Garner. Garner will trot it off. He'll send it in the direction of Regan Kelly. Kelly's got 3 on the afternoon. He streaks forward on the lane. Sends it in behind to X. Abruzzese handling a hot one. Working forward, tries to turn around jumper, throw that one home, but they go flying off into U.S. Highway 36, headed east.
Got to be careful out there, Joe.
You never know. It's going to fly into the highway during a CU lacrosse game. Steve Caressel being worked over by Connor Irvin. Irvin will try to work it free. He does. It'll be pushed up in the air with 2 seconds remaining. It'll be flung down the length of the field ugly. But that'll be the end of our first half.
Great one-on-one defense coming from Connor Irvin just to close out the quarter and make sure that score stays at 7-5.
And Mitch, a story of 2 quarters. Colorado looking lost there in the first, adjusting very well in the second to cut this game to 2. I mean, this one looked like it could have been over quickly if Colorado didn't find out what they should do. And we're going to step aside real quickly. When we come back, I should be joined by Kay Moroi, who is the head coach of the University of Japan lacrosse team. Kay and his team here in Boulder for a few weeks, learning a few things from the University of Colorado lacrosse program. So we're going to step aside alongside Mitch Fenton. I'm Joe Paris. Your score at halftime, 7-5 in favor of the Chapman Panthers. Don't go anywhere. We've got more action coming up after this. All right, we're here in halftime from the University of Colorado. I'm Joe Paris, now joined by Kay Moroi, head coach of the University of Japan lacrosse program. Kay, thanks for coming all the way out here to join us. I know you guys have had a lot of fun here in Boulder.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I'm the one who should be thanking you guys. I mean, it was beautiful out here, the great team, great environment. I mean, we can ask more.
What was the idea for the trip coming out here? Was it your guys' idea? Were you guys invited by the university?
Actually, it was us. Basically, over the years, we've been thinking it's really important to get in the field, play with you guys. I mean, the lacrosse comes from the U.S., to Canada, and stuff, and we're actually not that developed. So in order to get those skills, those practice knowledges, we needed to come here and then see the practices and games firsthand.
What have the days been like here in Boulder? I know I saw you guys a few times around the lacrosse field. I also saw you guys on campus. You guys staying busy here in Boulder.
Yeah, everything. People kept us busy. I mean, practices, games, the coaches, players, they've been all good to us, and it's been really great.
What have you guys picked up while you're here on the lacrosse field, I guess, for starters?
Yeah, the players, right when they get back to their room, they always say, man, their shoot is so fast, their pass is so fast, everything's really quick. And in Japan, we tend to play really slow on our team, basically. So it was pretty new to them that all the paces and the games really ran fast.
And what do you think about the play here? I know you guys have been here for 2 weeks, so you've seen a lot of the games so far. What do you think about the play of the MCLA?
Well, it's really, really more high level than I thought it would be. And I heard that a lot of students transfer from the MCAAs, and no wonder.
It's a lot of fun up here, huh?
Yeah, it is.
What type of coaching strategies have you picked up from Coach Galvin? I mean, they won the national championship last year, so a great guy to learn from. I know he's put you under his wing.
Well, Coach Galvin, he kept in charge of all the position parts, and I played a midi and basically offensive midi, so I wasn't really fond of defensive strategy and stuff. But seeing Coach Galvin coaches every part of on field, I think it's really important that the head coach really gets thoroughly through the field, and I think that's what I picked up mostly.
And you, the coach, along with a few of the players, have actually gotten to practice with the team and get it going. I see you during pregame always hanging out in the shooting circle. I mean, what's that been like?
Yeah, it was really great. It's really detail stuff, but all the players have really good skilled forms, really neat forms, and I really want to teach that back when I get back to Japan.
Joe Paris alongside Kay Moroi here. He is the head coach at the University of Japan. A lot of fun out here. What's the program like in Japan?
You mean lacrosse, right?
Yeah, lacrosse.
Yeah, it's really growing. It has a pretty much different in regional differences. It's really developed in the east, but it's growing throughout the country. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to be really popular in some few years or until like the Olympics or something.
Yeah. Who do you guys play at the University of Japan? Are there other
Well,
smaller universities?
Yeah, our rivals are like University of Keio, Waseda. Keios have like a trip to the NCAA teams during fall ball in like once in 2 years, and they're really good. They beat us last year, and really wanting to revenge on them this year.
And is it a year-round thing for you guys, or is it more just a season?
Actually, it's kind of like you guys, only the season's flipped. It starts in August and it ends in like December, and right now it's like preseason.
The guys are having a lot of fun out here in Boulder. What else have you guys done? I know there's, you got your hat. We found you the bookstore, so you can get a cool hat. What else have you guys done though in the Boulder area?
In the Boulder area, we actually went down to Pearl Street Mall and done some little shopping, and then found out what kind of the town Boulder is, and we found out it's really a safe place. We've been out in like midnight and still nothing happened to us.
See, now it's known internationally the type of place Boulder, Colorado is. I mean, it's
Definitely.
a weird place. You get to see any of the street performers on Pearl? Oh boy.
Yeah,
Do you have anything like that in Japan?
Downtown maybe a bit, yeah, but not like this. It's really open and stuff.
You have a favorite part of the trip?
Well, Mrs. Wilson took us down to Denver and let us see the Mammoth game.
Oh.
And we never saw that. And like Jeremy Noble, Lyle Thompson, John Grant Jr., all the big players we only seen over the screen were there, and it was just awesome.
So you guys play outdoor, I'm assuming. Is there any indoor scene at all in Japan?
No, not at all. So it was really, really fresh to us.
Cool. Well, here with Coach Maroy, I'm Joe Paris. We're going to step aside, but is there any way we can find you guys on Twitter or on Facebook?
Oh, yes.
Help support you guys?
Yeah, University of Tokyo has an official Facebook page on our website, and it would be really, really fascinating if you guys could cheer us up overseas, and we'll definitely be rooting for you guys from Japan. All
the way from Tokyo, Japan, Coach Maroy, I'm Joe Paris. We're going to step aside, but when we come back, Mitch Fenton and I will be back to break down the first half. Your score at a halftime, 7-5 in favor of the Panthers. We'll see if Colorado can fight back here in the second half. Welcome in back to Boulder, Colorado. Joe Paris alongside Mitch Fenton here on Monday afternoon. We got some Radio 1190 developing stories to go over with you guys. So let's take a look at that beautiful graphic. And Derek Michelson, who put everything together, I just want to give him a real quick shout out. He's been working effortlessly to put all these beautiful graphics up on the screen. But yes, Radio 1190 developing stories. Big story in the first half, face-off wins. Colorado got murdered in that department on Saturday against GCU, but behind Clark Salami, they have done well this afternoon, winning 12 of 14 face-offs there in the first half. Shots on goal even at 9, the big one 7-5. Goals in favor of Chapman. The turnovers for Colorado, a little bit of a hindrance there in the first half. They had 9 turnovers, a lot of them coming on those clears. They did go 6 for 8 on the successful clears, which is a pretty good conversion right there. And Chapman having a little bit of trouble with Colorado's 10-man ride, 9 for 14 on the clears with 5 turnovers. Mitch, what are you expecting here in the second half?
Really look for more of the same from both of those teams. They both had good second quarters, especially Colorado. Chapman came out and continued to do what they had been doing all game long. Colorado definitely stepped it up a little bit on the offensive end and on the defensive end as well. So honestly, I would expect to see a lot of the same. Colorado needs to stay settled on the offensive end and take the good shots, not force it from the outside. Chapman needs to continue to play well, force Colorado to take those outside shots and move it quickly in transition and finish their opportunities down low.
Shout out to our friends over in the TLN offices. Colin and Samir have got the Chapman Colorado game up on the big screen over in the TLN headquarters. So big shout out to our friends down in LA. Hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, always good to hear from Colin. It's been a while since I've seen him, so glad to hear he's tuning in.
Colin, a alum of this Colorado program. Shot on net and a save by Gradinger. What a shave. My goodness, he stopped McIlvaney right on the back step.
And it looked like Ben Wharton down low there. Caught the ball in a good spot, but had the stick in his right hand and kind of had to awkwardly force it back across the crease, and it gave Gradinger just enough time to match his stick and beat him.
So just underway here in the second half, 14:24 remaining in the third, 7-5 in favor of the Panthers. Caressa will give up the ball. Colorado did a good job to win that opening faceoff, but Mitch, a little bit of the same problem starting off that first half. They couldn't quite convert, although they had the possession.
Yeah, and that's really the name of the game. It's slowing down your offense and being really critical, being methodical with it, and finishing the opportunities that you get. And that's really what Colorado needs to focus on right now.
Kress will come in, he'll send one, and he scores. Correction, that's actually Dave Apruzesi. He got it from Caressel, and it's 8-5 Chapman.
Chapman coming out in the same fashion that they did in the first quarter, in the first half of this game, and just really taking it to the Buffs early.
So Colorado coming out slow here in the second half. That's not what you want from Colorado. They were starting to roll there in the second quarter, stalled in the final minutes. But they have done well in the face-off department.
And if they can continue to do well in the face-off department, hopefully for them that translates into more possessions and thus more goals.
Salami will win another draw. He'll run it forward. He's going to take it all the way. Salami fires one, and saved by Gradinger. Doesn't know where the ball is. Comes free. Shot on net. Goes wide. It was deflected. Zimbowski couldn't quite will it home. It'll be pushed out of bounds. I believe this one should stick with Colorado, and it will.
And that's good transition offense coming from Salami. He used a little bit of a pump fake to get his defender to stay on the point man in that fast break, and got a good shot off on net. Actually had the goalie beat, got Gradinger to go low, but just caught a piece of his shoulder as it popped back up.
Riley Combe will take it down the far alley. He's got some speed. He'll switch hands. He'll look behind the X. He'll rotate out and find Mitch Erickson instead. Erickson will stare down Brent Melby. He'll work all the way to the far side before giving up behind the net to Hart Wise. Wise tries to come around the edge. He'll draw a double team. He's pushed over onto his stomach by Dutra. Dutra, the senior defenseman, had a great afternoon. McElvaney, though, will rescue it for Colorado. It'll come behind the X. It's Ben Wharton. Wharton will go back to Colin McElvaney. Seeing this young core of attackmen for Colorado to start out the second half. McElvaney will draw the double team. He'll be sandwiched. Loses the ball. Will be knocked down. McElvaney, though, will soccer it to himself. We're going to get a push and a hold on Colorado. So it'll be Chapman ball. The quick restart. Croteau will bring it up. Long pull will finally deferred over to Caressel. Caressel 2 goals in that first half. He'll high five with Croteau as he comes off down the field. 12:32 remaining in our third quarter. 3-goal game in favor of the Chapman Panthers. Chapman playing here against Colorado after losing to CSU back on Saturday. Close matchup up in Fort Collins, but the Panthers look like they saved plenty in the tank for this game. Similar styles. Seems that these power elite teams in the MCLA, a lot of them play these run and gun, high offensive power games, and it really comes down to who's got the best defense in the country. Connor Riley will send him on net, but a save by Jensen Makarov. Jensen looked good in the first half, but he didn't have that special edge to him that he's had the last few games.
Yeah, Jensen, a really consistent goalie. He's going to go out there and make most, if not all, of the saves that he should be making. The ones from about 12 or so yards out. But what you really want to see from him is hopefully coming up with a couple of those in-tight saves, which he's been really good at. And Florida State, Sonoma State are against Grand Canyon. But
Carl's got to move it here, or else Colorado's going to have a turnover. They get rid of it at the last second. It'll be a long field play. It'll come to Ben Wharton, and it'll bounce down. I think it might have gone off Chapman. Nope, it went off Colorado, so it'll go the possession back to the Chapman Panthers. Not a good play for Colorado. They got sloppy out of the clear.
Yeah, that's rare for Colorado. They don't normally have those clearing troubles. It's an interesting situation.
We didn't see that all game.
Not really sure what just happened on the field, Joe, but Colorado's got the ball, and Johnny Clayton's on the ground.
Clayton goes down. He's going to draw a flag. Riley Combe will scoop it up. So Colorado will go on the man advantage. Johnny Clayton advanced the ball forward. I'm not sure how it came to this end. Graves will send one, and it goes wide. It'll be backed up by Colorado, and we'll have a man advantage for the Buffs, I believe. The Chapman sideline's cheering about something. I'm not sure what. Cameraman Joey Prechtel is working in close quarter, so bear with him. He's trying to adjust it. Joey's good to go. I believe, though, Colorado will be on the man advantage here for 30 seconds. I see Chris Herman on a knee in the penalty box. I'm not sure what the Panthers were cheering for after that play.
It looked like they disagreed a little bit with the call and just thought their teammate was playing good physical defense, so letting him know that they were behind him as he came off the field.
Gann, who's back out there on the field, comes back door. Colm sends one, and a good save by Gradinger. That backside rotation wasn't there, but Gradinger was.
Great inside save by Gradinger. That's exactly the look you want if you're Colorado. Riley Colm caught the skip pass in the backside and had all kinds of room, but the goalie just came up bigger.
Connor Riley will advance it with his feet. Chapman almost effortlessly starting here this second half. Kress will slow up as Connor Irvin will chase him down. Irvin tries to break it free. Got a good stick check in there, but Caressa will hang on to it. 10-10 remaining in the third.
Connor Irvin, one of the most physical and aggressive defenders you'll see in the MCLA, as his attackman is actually pleading with the ref for some sort of a call, shaking his wrist like he's in some pain, but the ref not giving him the time of day.
Dylan Garner will fake the pass, hidden ball trick. Seven's got the ball. Saw GCU try that move. They ran it a little bit better.
Little impromptu trickery.
Connor Riley will feed it over to Dave Abruzzese. Abruzzese's only got 2 this afternoon. I say only because he is the leading scorer for the Chapman Panthers. Coming around the edge will be Kelly. Kelly to Abruzzese. Puts it in front, wide open on the doorstep is a goal there for Steve Caressel. That's 3 for him. He was unguarded in the slot. And Jensen Makarov had no chance.
You see Red Miller slamming his stick a little bit after that play. It looked like he just got lost in the middle. Might have been the guy who was supposed to be that 2 slide and cover the man in the crease. But regardless of who it was, a tough break for the Colorado defense and an easy goal for Chapman.
.9:24 remaining in the third quarter. Colorado trying to get it rolling, and they just can't quite get their hand on the button.
Been a slow start again for Colorado coming out of halftime.
Sam Banks doing a good job in the faceoff department. I will say the lone bright spot for Colorado as they turn it over again is that they have been lights out in the faceoff department. Chapman will throw it out of bounds, so it'll stick here with Colorado. It'll be Hart Wise. Wise will send it over to the direction of Jack Polk. On the far side, it's Ryan Stoll. Colorado looking to use something different here as it'll be pushed around. Jace Gann at X. Jay Snell coming on for the first time here in this half as in attackman. Gann will lose the ball, but Wise will bail him out. Wise will lose it now. Ball is batted down again. It'll be pushed out of bounds and it'll go in the direction of the Chapman Panthers. Colorado having all sorts of trouble with fundamentals this afternoon. Very uncharacteristic play for a Coach Galvin squad.
Yeah, right now, regardless of how they're shooting, it seems like they just need to settle down a little bit and stop these unforced errors and stop committing these turnovers.
It'll be spun over now to Brent Melby. Melby misplays it. It'll be pushed up into the air. Fishing for it for Colorado is Zane Larson. Larson can't quite get it. And the Panthers will come up with another GB. It's Brent Melby. Melby will send it over the half line. He'll be met by some aggressive checking there by Red Miller. Miller will break that one free. It'll be John Clayton for Colorado. Clayton's got it. He sends it over to Gann, and Gann can't quite get the stick on it.
And that's another unforced error coming from Colorado.
It's almost puzzling to see what's going on for Colorado right now.
And you see the ref throw the flag there. Jace Gann swinging the stick a little bit wildly, looking for the goalie's elbows on that play. I can say I'm no stranger to that, but it gets caught and it's going the other way.
A good nugget here on the back half of the play by Zach Dawes, but it will be man up for Chapman. Could be a minute.
And that's more than likely going to be a slashing call going against Jace Gann. So a minute, as you said, Joe.
Minute for slashing against Gann. Gann having a conversation with the official, but won't help this time. 8:34 remaining in the third quarter, 9-5 in favor of the Chapman Panthers. Beautiful day from Kit Field in Boulder. Joe Paris alongside Mitch Fenton. Chapman on the man advantage for a full minute, so they'll be up until 7:30 is up on the clock. 8:26 remaining now. Caressa will send it up top. A big shot is by Scott Jackson. It'll be rebounded. Hammerman can't try send it home.
Actually hit his own man on the way through there, Joe.
And Scott Jackson, who is a noticeably large body, hasn't had a ton of playing time this afternoon, but the senior now will get on the man attack.
Looks like he's just one of those outside shooters with a big stick who they trust to take that 13 or 14-yard shot.
Ball will bounce its way over to Jensen Makarov with 8 minutes remaining. 30 seconds left on this. Man down for Colorado. It'll come to Aaron Isaacson. Isaacson off of a bounce will advance it over into the offensive end for Colorado. He'll trigger it over to Johnny Clayton. Clayton sends it to Colm. Extra care now for these passes. Colm will look to race it in. Instead, he'll back off, waiting for it at X, his heart wise. Instead, he'll come over to Clayton, right outside the standing box. Stoll looks to make a run down the alley. He'll draw the double team, so he'll have to back out. Good defensive play by Nolan Crossan. Crossan still waiting there on Stoll. We are back to even strength now. Gann comes out of the box. He'll switch places with the sideline. Riley Colm will come off. Coming on for Colorado will be Jay Snell. Snell's got it. He looks over to Ryan Stoll. Clayton looks over to Graves. Graves will draw the long pole. He'll send it across the formation to Ryan Stoll. Calling for it at X is Wise. Stoll will flip out of a stick check. Sends it over now to Wise, who's hanging out behind X. He'll be met by the defender there, Alex Siegel. Comes in front, and another great save by the goaltender, Gus Gradinger.
Great job by Gradinger. Hartwise coming up from X, looking for a pass across the crease to, I think it was Ben Wharton on that other side, who was very open. Chapman had kind of let themselves down on the backside, but the goalie kept his stick up and intercepted the pass.
Gradinger is having a very fantastic afternoon in Boulder. Colorado just can't seem to beat him. As Jensen Makarov comes out of his net to make that play. Makarov will find it over to Graves. Maybe that's the play that Colorado needed.
An athletic play by an athletic goaltender on that 10-man ride. Great job to come out, recognize that he could get to the ball, and he made it there.
Wharton, behind from X, has got some speed. He's also met by the defender, P.J. Titterton, as we're going to see a flag up in the air as Ben Wharton is lying on his belly in the crease. I think he was pushed hard from behind, so this should be in favor of Colorado.
And that really is a judgment call coming from that side official. It looked like Wharton might have been leaning just a little bit and got pushed over just enough to get him to fall into the crease, but the ref saw it as a push, so we're going to have a 30-second extra man opportunity for the Buffs here.
Colorado will take it with 6:09 remaining in our third quarter. They trail by 4 goals, their second largest deficit of the afternoon. Colorado playing like they did in the first quarter, Mitch. Very odd for them to flip-flop like they did. They really turned it on in the second quarter and have come out here in the third a little bit slow.
Well, hopefully this extra man offense, extra man opportunity is the turning point for them, and they can get it going a little bit here in the second half.
They need a spark to get it going. Gann from X. Sends it up top to Erickson. Erickson to Graves. Graves looking on the back door for Clayton. Instead he goes back to the near side. Erickson tries to feed it in, and he shoots, he scores! Hart Wise through traffic will send it in. He jumped off of a foot and sent it home. And a big goal for Colorado. They needed that one. 5:44 remaining in the third. They now trail by 3.
Textbook finish there coming from Wise. Kept his feet moving, caught the ball headed upfield, quick turn and got the shot off. Not a bad job by Chapman's defense. They had sticks on him, but Hart Wise able to fight through it and put one up on the board for his team.
5:44 remaining in the third quarter. Maybe that's the spark Colorado needed. In to take the draw for Colorado is Sam Banks. On the near side is Clark Salami with his long pole. Banks looks like he almost had it won. He had it on his stick. Coming in from the other side was Blake Irwin. Still loose. Irwin will try to track it down. Salami now with the long pole will be there with Irwin, and Colorado will come up with another draw. So again, the bright spot for Colorado has been the faceoff department. Blake Irwin. He'll fire it over to John Clayton. Clayton and the Buffs a 3-goal deficit. Time winding down in the third. Just about 5 minutes remaining. Erickson from the far side will draw the attention of the defender, Herman. He'll send it up top. McElvaney handling with one hand, sends it in behind to X. It's Wharton. Wharton in front. Clayton, a streaking shot. Saved there by Gradinger.
That's a huge save coming from Gradinger. Colorado had started to build up a little bit of momentum, starting with Jensen Makarov coming out of the crease and making that play, and it ending with a man-up goal from Colorado. Oh, as you see a flag come down there late.
Herman hit the deck. Finishing his check was Zach Dawes. Herman a little shaken up. Honestly, to me, it looked clean. Maybe a hair too late, though, for the official. It wasn't high.
Yeah, it looked like coming in just a little bit late there from Zach Doss. Assistant coach Aaron Gray walking him off the sideline, giving him a smack on the helmet. Probably not too upset with his defender for taking that penalty, but with just under 5 minutes left to play in this third quarter, Colorado definitely has to start about making a couple less mistakes and getting some goals in the net.
So Chapman will work it around on the man advantage. 30 seconds they have here. Again, coming on with the attack is Scott Jackson. He's got that rocket out there. Jackson looming on the outside. For now, though, it's Tyler Stanley. Stanley will send it around. He'll receive a return pass here on the near side. He'll draw the defense of the long pole, Connor Irvin, before deferring around the edge.
It looks like Chapman has jumped into it's a great save.
Great save by Makarov. Jensen Makarov will now escape it there, and he's going to draw a flag there as two Panthers came bearing down on him. It'll be pushed up the field. It's Penn Lukens. Lukens has got some speed. Lukens will look over to Clayton. He'll use Clayton as a little bit of a shield to trot it all the way in behind. Great clear there by Penn Lukens. Even better play, though, by Jensen Makarov on the other end, making the save and escaping trouble and drawing the flag. We have a delayed penalty right now. So Colorado will wait for their full strength to return, and they are back to full strength. So the Buffs will get things going. They've got 3:38 remaining in this third quarter. It's Mitch Erickson who comes around the corner. He'll send it in behind. Out to the near side. McElvaney sends one, and another save there by Gradinger.
Good opportunity there for McElvaney, but just sent it stick side high. Gradinger, no problem.
3:30 remaining in our third quarter. Colorado will go on the extra man attack.
Chapman's going to get called for an illegal body check down there. You are not allowed to use your body to check someone who is on the ground. You're allowed to check their stick, but they are protected if they are sitting, as Makarov was. So an illegal body check coming from the Panthers. It'll be a 1-minute penalty, and let's see what the Buffs can do with it.
No WWF elbow drops. I really don't like those in this sport. Keep those to pro wrestling. I wonder what Dwayne The Rock Johnson would look like in lacrosse gear. Pretty terrifying.
It's like Zdeno Chara on skates.
Oh, my. Graves will send one from the outside. That one goes just outside. Stays here with Colorado. Gann will back it up. Gann again out there with the injured hamstring. McElvaney looks up top to Erickson. Erickson to Graves. Graves to Clayton. Clayton fakes it. Goes back to Graves. Erickson sees some movement on the back door. Picked off, though. A great nugget coming across from the defender, Connor Riley.
Excellent man-down defense from Chapman. All of them had their sticks up, and Riley able to just snag it out of the air and bring it downfield.
Jumped that passing lane perfectly.
Hopefully they can kill off the rest of this penalty and get back to even strength.
Riley still with it. He's going to use his feet to get rid of it. He will send the pass intended for Coressel out of bounds. So Colorado here with time winding down on the man-up advantage. I believe they've got about 15 seconds left. It'll be advanced into the near half to Colin McElvaney. McElvaney to Gann. Colorado still man up. Graves will send one. It's going to be deflected straight up and out of the air. It went off the pole of Nolan Cross, and it'll bounce down, though, to Colin McElvaney. 2:30 remaining in the third. We're back to even strength. McElvaney has the ball knocked away from him. That's going to be definitely a hold. It's going to go against Colin McElvaney, though, which is curious because it looked like Nolan Crossan had him wrapped up. Referees disagreeing on it, though.
So an interesting progression of calls coming here. That did look like a hold on McElvaney. He was getting driven out by his defenseman, and it prevented him from getting back to the ball. The call is actually coming because as it looked like as Chapman released from their penalty, they went off sides. They sent the man over the midline, but then only had two attackmen on the offensive side of the ball for a number of seconds, and the ref caught attention to it, and they drew the flag. So another man-up opportunity here for the Buffs.
2:20 remaining in the third. Colorado needed to convert here. They are 0 for 3 here on man-up opportunities in the third quarter. Erickson goes back to Graves, to Gann. Gann to Clayton. Clayton from X will go back to Gann. Gann will swing it over to McElvaney. Sends it up top. Erickson will come back to McElvaney. Mishandled again by Gann. Gann goes right back to Colin McElvaney. Erickson, backdoor. Gann looking to do something. Sends one. Save by Gradinger. What a save by Gus Gradinger there. He is in his zone right now, Mitch.
Yeah, Gradinger's been hot today, especially high. The couple of low shots that we've seen the Buffs take have definitely given him some trouble, along with those two stingers from Colin McElvaney. But other than that, he has been very sharp all afternoon.
Minute 30 remaining in the third. Colorado trailing by 3. A slow start to the second half. Has dragged on for nearly 15 minutes now. Almost picked off by Gann. Gann was thinking open net and just didn't quite get the stick on it. Meanwhile, it will be the Panthers. It's Herman. Herman will spin away from McElvaney.
It's a great job by Herman. That 30 seconds was about to run out, and Colin McElvaney had him dead in the corner, but he was able to touch it in the box and avoid the failure call.
McElvaney with a good stick check. Herman will hang on to it, though. A minute remaining in the third. Chaptown's got it. It'll come up to Garner. Garner will go back to Mastery. Right back to Garner.
Just under a minute left. We've seen both teams slow down a little bit here in the third quarter, so let's see if Chapman can extend their lead to 3. Just under 40 seconds left to go.
Aperzesi coming from X is blocked by a number of bodies. Ball is going to bounce free. Chasing after it is Tyler Stanley. Stanley will be pushed into the Colorado sideline. It'll be picked up by Colorado. A good play by Zane O'Brien. O'Brien looked at the referee hoping there wasn't going to be a flag, and much to his enjoyment, there wasn't. 20 seconds remaining here in the third. Colorado's got to get something going quickly. It'll be caught here on the near side. It'll be brought over into the zone by Jack Doss. 10 seconds remaining. Colorado's got to do something. Clayton's got it at X. Fans will count down. Stoll up top. He's going to spin. Someone needs to shoot it. Doss is going to. He fires one, and that one bounces just wide. And Gus Gradinger will fight that one off to end our third quarter.
And a good opportunity there for the Buffs at the end, not giving up, using every second of the clock. Doss, the long pole, catching it on the wing and doing everything he can to try and bring his team a little bit closer just at the end of the half, but a little bit quieter than the first two quarters had been for each team, Joe.
So that'll be the end of the third. A very exciting fourth quarter is coming up next. A 3-goal deficit is very doable for Colorado. Although they haven't treaded really into this territory all year long, here's a big challenge.
And really doable for any team. 3 goals is nothing in the world of lacrosse. Obviously, it's going to come one at a time for Colorado if they are able to mount this comeback, but certainly not out of their reach. But also, Chapman has been playing extremely well. They've had the lead the entire game. They're playing really well with that lead. They were able to keep Colorado to, I believe, just 0 goals in that third quarter, even better. So look for them to continue. Their offense has been working really well for them. They've been taking the good opportunities and taking away those same opportunities for Colorado.
We'll take a look to Twitter right now. Louis DiDonatis says, watching the game from Phoenix, expecting a great second half. Well, not a great third quarter, but fourth quarter setting up to be very fun. Louis, thanks for tweeting in. Louis, a member of the GCU Lopes that knocked off Colorado on Saturday. A great game for GCU. Congratulations to them for a big victory.
Yeah, got to be a great feeling to take down the number 1 team in the country, come in here, beat Colorado State, and then subsequently the University of Colorado. 2 big teams, a really successful weekend for them, and they have to be proud of themselves.
And they're definitely going to move up in the rankings. We'll see, depending on this game, what happens to Colorado and Chapman if they can pull this one out. Make sure to tweet in all your thoughts at Joe Paris and at Mitchie_Bags. We're taking nominations for the Encore Player of the Game. Also, it's Senior Day here in Boulder. We want to honor all of our seniors. I mean, believe it or not, today is Senior Day at Kit Field, the last regular season home game. And guys like Jay Scan, Kerry Garfinkel, Austin Kalazi, guys that have been around the program now for their entire college career.
Yeah, and this is the first time. This is the first group of seniors that Coach Galvin has seen all the way through their 4 years here at CU. So definitely a bit of a unique senior class. They were Galvin's first class when he came back after his brief hiatus, and I'm sure he's excited to see them finish out their tenure here.
Colorado will advance it up the field. It'll come back door to Wise. He sends one off the post. That one goes off the crossbar. It's going to be a race to it here onto the near side right in front of us. And scooping it up will be Sam Banks.
Yeah, and Colorado just can't catch a break. Great job by Hartwise to get himself into good position, but rings it off the crossbar.
Just underway in the fourth quarter. 3-goal deficit for the Buffs. Riley Combe will trot with it. He'll switch hands, try to go right to the goal. He'll be looked off by the defenseman.
Clark Salami looking to isolate.
Salami with that long pole. He can handle it just as good as anyone in the MCLA. He's going to come back door. He'll swing one. A good shot on net, but again, Gradinger using his body to get there. Wild pass comes out to the front. It'll be Chapman in transition. It'll be Aperzesi. Aperzesi will come back door. Shot on net, and a save by Makarov. We are going to get a flag as Colin McElvaney absolutely demolished Dave Aperzesi.
But a huge save there from Jensen Makarov. That was about all you could ask for out of your attackman and out of your offense in transition, but Makarov just came up bigger on that play.
So it'll be Colin McElvaney who will take a seat for the Buffs to start out our fourth quarter. Chapman with a 3-goal lead. If they can add a few quick ones, this one could be over. Played up top. It'll be Herman. Herman will send it in down low. Coressel goes back to Herman. Herman backdoor for Apruzesi. Apruzesi goes right back up top to Herman. Herman and Apruzesi will go back and forth before it comes behind to Nevin Marcy.
It looks like one of the bright spots on the day for Colorado has definitely been their man-down play. This is an extremely effective unit. They're good at giving up the outside shots and kind of letting the players that aren't threatening that much just kind of work around the outside. As you see Jensen make a great save on a preferable man-down shot.
Scott Jackson, a big blast on the outside, was no trouble for Makarov. So Aaron Eilingson will advance it for Colorado. 13:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Buffs got to get it going. It's John Clayton. Clayton and Croteau will take a look at each other. Clayton will wait for Ryan Stoll, who just trotted onto the field. Stoll's got a little bit of speed coming down on the near side. Back to even strength as Colorado has killed off the man down. Doug Graves will send it in behind. It's Ben Wharton. Wharton tries to spin through the crease, gets a good position. He's going to get pushed into the crease, and they're going to call a violation on that, so it'll be Chapman ball.
It's a similar play. We saw Wharton actually draw a penalty on a quarter ago, but this time the refs saw him just doing a little bit too much leaning and falling into the crease under his own weight.
10-man ride coming out of the whistle for Colorado. Hartwise with some great effort here. It'll be sent in behind to the goaltender, Gradinger again. Colorado trying to force a turnover. It's a bad pass. It'll be scooped up and out of the air. Loose right at the midfield line, and I believe, yes, Colorado's going to come up with it. What a play there by the long pole, Zach Dawes. Dawes to Clayton, a huge play there for the Buffs. Dawes here on senior day has turned it on big time. Ball will be knocked free through the slot, though, as Colorado just can't get it going. Spinning away from a check is Nolan Crossan. Crossan will stick with it. He'll defer off to the sideline to Dylan Garner. Garner will avoid a check from Ryan Stoll, who will trot off. It'll come now to Nevin Marcy. Mastery will give it over to Dylan Garner. Tyler Stanley will casually send over. He'll go to X. He'll be picked up on defense by Zimboski. Chapman with the deliberate pace, and they've got nowhere to hurry. Coming around the edge is Marcy. Apruzesi. Garner. Garner's taken down. He's going to jump right back up. A good play by Dawes, though, for Colorado. Zach Dawes having a huge game this afternoon. 11-12 remaining in our fourth quarter. Big defensive possession for Colorado. Stanley works around Zimboski. Looking back on the doorstep is Feldman. Feldman calling for a pass, doesn't get it this time. Instead it goes to Coressel. Coressel will play it over onto the near half to Mastery. Nevin Mastery will use his feet to try to come down the lane. Zimboski will break it free, tripping over his teammate Blake Irwin. No shot there. Apruzesi sends it in down low.
Both sides looking really good right now. Good deliberate offense coming from Chapman, and Colorado's doing a good job of denying them the opportunities that they're looking for.
Buffs doing a good job here holding their formation. Everyone staying accountable on their assignments. Trying to use his speed as Mastery. Mastery just can't get around the smaller Irwin. Then he does. Fires one and he scores.
And another defensive breakdown there for Colorado. Irwin taking an isolation dodge on the wing and no one there to slide as he got beat, and the finish was just right on top of Makarov.
10-6 is our score. Colorado still looking for answers from all the way back in that first quarter. I mean, briefly in the second they got it going, but Mitch, they just can't seem to find the groove.
And you know, that first quarter really is the difference right now. 4-goal deficit after those first 15 minutes, and that's what we're back at now. Since then, it's been really back and forth. It's been a good game, but that first stanza is proving to be detrimental for the Buffs.
Another good face-off win for Colorado. Coming right out of the X was Banks. Banks is down on the ground now. He's holding his leg. I think he's injured. Sam Banks is hurting. We're going to get a whistle.
Looks like he's holding his knee, Joe.
He had a great win. He runs it all the way forward. A good shot as well. But Sam Banks looks like he got his knee jammed up as he collided with the defenseman. Coach Galvin going to come out from the sideline. Banks has had a very good afternoon in the face-off X for Colorado. The junior midfielder, though, is looking like he's in a little bit of pain out there. And Mitch, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary there on that play.
No, Banks got the shot off, and it kind of got lost in the middle there. It was hard to see exactly what happened, but hopefully he's all right.
It looks like he's going to be okay as he is helped off.
And it doesn't look like he's putting any pressure on that right leg, so hopefully it's nothing too serious for Sam. Big offseason addition for this team. He's a junior, hadn't come out for the team before, but has really proven his worth, especially in the face-off department. So would hate to see anything happen to him at this point in the season, and hopefully he's all right.
A big blow to Colorado because he was really getting it done in the face-off X. Possession will start here with Doug Graves. Graves will send it up top to Ryan Stoll. 10-14 remaining here in our fourth. Colorado down by 4. Still looking for answers. Their defense has played much better here this afternoon than they did against GCU, but contrary to Saturday, the offenses haven't been able to get it going. Offense operating now. Ryan Stoll puts it in front. Wise just can't jam it in. They've run into a hot goaltender here this afternoon. Gus Gredinger has been unreal.
And a great save from Gredinger again. It looked like Hart Wise just put it off his arm. Goalie not having to do too much to make that save, but nonetheless, he fends off the ball.
Colorado will send it out of bounds. .9:30 remaining here in the fourth. It'll be pushed over now to Ben Wharton. Snell puts it in front. Wise sends when it goes off the post. Rebound Wharton. He can't slam it home too. He hits the deck. Flag up and out of the air. Mitch, what'd you see there?
I was surprised that ball hit the pipe. It looked like it might have gone off of the inside steel, but ball popped up in the air. Coming down with a rebound. Looked like there might have been a slash going to the head. So yeah, a minute slash going against Chapman. Another opportunity for this Colorado extra man unit. So let's see if they can capitalize.
Colorado having a tough time here this afternoon on the man up, but if they're going to get it going, it's got to be now. Mitch Erickson plays it down low. Gus Gredinger here this afternoon has been the biggest difference in this game. He has made a half a dozen saves that a lot of goaltenders wouldn't even have a shot at. Erickson to McElvaney. 8:56 remaining in our fourth quarter. Erickson to Graves. Graves looking back door. Jay Scan is looming there. Hartwise is on the inside. He'll be sealed off by the defender, Krotow. Not a lot of movement out there for Colorado. A lot of standing around. They'll fire it around the circle. McElvaney will go to Erickson. Erickson will fake a shot now over to Graves. Graves to Clayton. Time winding down on the man advantage. Erickson to McElvaney. McElvaney again. Now it'll be Clayton who will inch in towards the crease on the back door. Look for the skip pass there as Colorado can't handle it and it'll come out of bounds.
Great job by Chapman, staying compact while still pressuring the ball, not giving up anything on the crease, and forcing a turnover and effectively killing Colorado's extra man opportunity.
Buffs having all sorts of trouble out there. This is really reminiscent to exactly a year ago, something that everyone remembered so freshly and did not want it to come down to. Ball will be sent free. Panthers, though, will have no trouble regaining possession as Connor Riley will pick it up. Raleigh goes in deep. Buffs will get back into their defensive formation. Garner will take it. He tries to hit Aprezesi. A good play, though, to knock it up there for Colorado was Rowan Sloss. Doss trying to get it free from Garner. Garner will back off now, Hart-wise. 7:28 remaining in the fourth quarter. 4-goal advantage for the Panthers. It's the captain, Chris Herman. Herman's been a huge facilitator all afternoon. Really doing a good job in possession. Regan Kelly, who had 3 goals in the first half, will swap positions with Kevin Leake. Leake will send it up top before it comes back to Regan Kelly. In behind X, timer on for Chapman. They've got 30 seconds. 6:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. Deliberate pace, it's Nevin Mashry. Mashry will set a check. Leake will sneak around him. He's being chased down by Penn Lukens. Lukens sticks with him there. Lukens with the long pole. Makes a pass over to Dave Aprezesi. He sends one in. Wild shot saved there by Makarov. Makarov will get rid of it.
Jensen does a great job to be athletic and go out there and get that ball back. Knows that his team needs it. Knows that they don't have too much time left in this game. And that was a must-get possession for CU.
Zane O'Brien will get over to John Clayton. Goes back door. O'Brien tries to spin around the defender, Croteau. Croteau will stump him there, so it'll be sent around back to Riley Colm. Colm comes around the edge, comes in behind to X now. It's Wise. Wise looking in front and an incredible nugget out of the air for the Panthers. That one was Justin Jones. It's broken free momentarily, but Gradinger will do another good job to pick it up for the Panthers. Chapman just creating the pace. It's now Aprezesi. He'll send one in, and a good save there by the goaltender Makarov right on the end line. You'd think the ball actually went up his shorts. It did. Still counts as a save.
Yeah, not uncommon. It happens every now and again. The ball will just pop up under your chest protector up there in your shorts. So good job by Makarov to smother that ball, especially in transition. That's a big save to keep this game at least within reach for Colorado.
Makarov had a great afternoon. He's been another difference. McElvaney will try to come around the edge. 5:24 remaining as time is clicking down. Thus have yet to come close to a goal here in this quarter. They need one now more than ever. Erickson sends one. That one goes wide. They'll stay in possession as Riley Colm will back it up for the Buffs. Colm will bring it back into the play with 5:10 remaining in our fourth quarter. Looks to go around the edge. Sends it over now to McElvaney. McElvaney fakes it. Nifty dangle. Back door. It's Gann. Gann will inch around and he scores! Jace Gann tiptoed the crease and sends it in. Top corner. Maybe the only spot the goaltender wasn't going to get. It's 10-7.
Gann does a great job to beat his man topside. Natural lefty, comes around and just uncorks, sneaks it in just under the crossbar. Great high-to-high finish there coming from the senior leader.
.456 remaining. Buffs need a big win here. I haven't seen Sam Banks over on the sideline. He looks like he's still nursing his leg. Salami will get a quick win over there. He'll go over to Clayton. Clayton wants it. He shoots it, and that one goes outside. It'll be backed up, though, by Jace Gann. Clark Salami with another good win.
Good opportunity for the Buffs there in transition. Johnny Clayton, a really smart player, understands that if he's going to take that shot, it better go in the corner or it better miss so that his team can retain possession, and that's exactly what he did. No harm in taking a shot that misses the cage as long as your team gets the ball back.
Gann will run into a pack of Panthers, still free. Panthers will come up, though, with that huge GB. Clayton here on the ride. It'll be sent free into the near half, though, by Brent Melby. Melby's got it. Colorado just can't get it clicking. They get a goal, and then they take a step back, it seems. It's Dylan Garner. We're going to get a whistle, and I believe we're getting a timeout from Chapman. Maybe not. We're going to get a whistle on something. Any ideas, Mitch?
It looked like Chapman might have been attempting to call a timeout to hide the fact that they had come off sides. And the ref wisely realizing that there were Chapman players running where they shouldn't be and kind of giving the ball to Colorado, if I'm correct, or possibly just a time issue. And that all could have been wrong.
Not sure what happened, but it'll stick with the Chapman Panthers. Clock is at 4:32 right now. And we're back into play.
Okay.
I guess we had a clock issue. It was at 4:45 and it jumped to 4:32, so draw your own conclusion there. It's Chapman Panthers ball. It'll be sent up top to Connor Riley. Riley will work around Irvin. Switches possession. Blake Irwin, though, will stick with him. Up top, a blast and a goal. Steve Corso will get his 4th of the afternoon.
It's good two-man play. Chapman using the two-man game really well there, setting picks, working around each other, and just getting a good shot, finishing off stick low on Makarov.
4:09 remaining. Steve Corso will make this again a 4-goal game. Buffs looking for answers. Big face-off for Salami right now. Face-off team has done their job this afternoon. They got to start turning these possessions into goals, though. They're running out of time again. Kind of feels like that desperation towards the end of the GCU game on Saturday. And Chapman will win that one. It'll be Wyatt Miller. Miller will advance it into the restraining box, and now we will get a timeout from the Chapman Panthers.
Chapman sideline pumped up, coming onto the field to meet their guys, knowing that they are up by 4 with just over 4 minutes left here. And if they continue to play the way that they have been for the last 3 quarters, they're probably going to be able to shut the door on this Colorado team. But don't count them out just yet. 4 minutes is a long time in the sport of lacrosse. We've seen Clark Salami win faceoffs forward and bring the ball down and create a threat. So don't count Colorado out. But if Chapman can continue to play the way that they have been, it's going to be their game.
Thank you to everyone tuning in this afternoon. This will be our final home game of the year. Big thank you to our partners, Encore Brand Lacrosse, Action is Character. Big help to this year, as well as Radio 1190, KVCU Boulder, your home for Colorado men's lacrosse. Brad McNee tweeting in, former Buffs goaltender a few years ago. He was the year before you was Brad. Brad says, even though the Buffs are losing, I still get to hear the sweet, silky voice of Mitch Fenton while I work. What a day for Brad McNee.
Yeah, Brad's a good friend. Love to hear from him. Love to get that shout out. Had the privilege of, well, basically doing everything with him for 3 years. He was the goalie ahead of me, the All-American starter while I was a freshman, sophomore, and junior. So great to hear from him. Glad he's tuning in and that he's able to entertain himself at work while we're out here on this beautiful day.
It is senior day. One more time, want to recognize Gann, Garfinkel, Kalazi, Lefebvre, Graves, Irvin, Sloss, Doss, McKinnon, Stoll, Coleman, Erickson for their great time here at the University of Colorado. Post-game, we will be chatting a little bit with Mitch Fenton about those guys he always played with, as well as we're hoping to get a few of the boys over on our broadcast. So stay tuned after the game for the Radio 1190 post-game show. We'll recognize some seniors. Colorado will come out of the timeout with a very aggressive ride.
You see Jensen Makarov up here at the midline. It's kind of hard to see at the edge of your frame. But, yeah, the Buffs sending 7 field players down to the defensive end of the field, hoping to get the ball back.
Dylan Garner will work between 2 Buffs. Salami will get it free. It'll bounce down. Garner puts his glove over the ball, which is illegal, but Salami will get it free. So the aggressive play from Coach Galvin's squad will pay off. It'll be advanced into the near half.
That's exactly what you're hoping for if you're Colorado. You have your arguably your best 2 on-ball defenders in Salami and Irvin starting out on the ball, working hard in the double team and getting the ball back.
Keon Reno is out there momentarily. He'll trot off. Erickson will come on. Buffs running out of time. 3:19. Shot from the outside will go way wide. It'll be backed up by Colorado.
Again, another shot coming in transition. As long as McIlvaney sends that over the net and his team gets the backup, that's not a bad take.
Erickson goes one-on-one. 3:09 remaining in the 4th. Colorado needs to do something quickly. McIlvaney, he's got a shooting lane. He'll take it. It goes just high. It's a good shot, though, from Colin McIlvaney.
It's a vicious lefty rip coming from the freshman.
Clayton will take it. 3 minutes even remaining in our 4th. Clayton operating from behind. Get rid of it just barely to Riley Colm. Colm looks to isolate. He'll roll back door. wants the lefty shot, gives it up. Goes again, Roddy. Sends it up top. Clayton will fake it. He'll spin. Almost gets nailed with the back check. Erickson fires and scores. Mitch Erickson.
Good job by Erickson not to give up on the play. Put the ball just off of the goalie's shoulder, right past his helmet, off stick high, and just a good finish. Colorado still has a little bit of life left in them, and 3 goals in 2.5 minutes is certainly not out of the ordinary. So let's see if the Buffs can rally a little bit here and make this even more interesting going into the last bit of this game.
Wyatt Miller and Clark Salami could decide this game here. The Buffs really need the face-off win. A 3-goal game. Colorado hanging around. 2:39 remaining in our fourth quarter. Miller and Salami. Salami will wrap it up, and we're going to get a legal procedure call on Salami.
Salami called there for kicking the cross. It's a tough call if you're a ref. Sometimes some guys use their feet to try and kick the ball away. Other guys just jam it in there and hope for the best.
Miller's going to come all the way down the field. He'll send a shot. It's going to be a battle for who's going to back it up. And they're going to give it to Colorado.
Chapman called running through the crease after the shot, and just a big break there for the Buffs. If they can get this ball down and put a goal up, they'll have a little bit of time left to tie this game.
Zane O'Brien will take it from the defensive half for Colorado. He'll flip it up. Here comes Keon Renu. Renu will give it up now to Clayton. Renu misses it, doesn't have it in his shot. Bad play for Colorado with 2:08 remaining. Keon Renu, the freshman, hasn't had a lot of time out there. A little bit of a misplay there. He'll trot back, though, on defense. Colorado's got to start to get aggressive defensively.
That's tough there for Reno. That's exactly what Coach John Galvin asked his middies to do in transition. Set a little bit of a pick and then be available for the ball. You see a flag thrown there on Connor Irvin, getting a little bit too high with his long pole.
Irvin and Caressa will battle down low to be flipped over now to Apruzesi. Sent over now to Stanley. Minute 37 remaining. Colorado trails by 3. They need to get the ball back, though. Keon Renu will give chase.
And Chapman with an opportunity to run the ball out here. They have a free possession. They can take some chances and just run away from Colorado. As soon as they lose the ball, they'll actually get it back. And that's a chesting call going against Chapman. So sorry to get a little excited there, Joe. But Chapman called for chesting, illegal procedure, but they're going to get the ball back and be on the man up.
Minute 22 remaining in the fourth. Colorado will be down a man for 30 seconds, it appears. More importantly, though, a minute 22 remaining in the fourth. They need 3 goals. And at this point defensively, Mitch, what do you want to draw up?
This is extremely tough defensively. Colorado needs to get the ball back, but at the same time, they're man down, and it just looks like the official has motioned that it's going to be locked in. So Colorado is man down until there are 22 seconds left in this game no matter what. So they're going to have to find a way to pressure the ball with one less player out there.
Minute 22 remaining in our fourth. 11-8 is our score. Colorado inching towards another loss here. Very reminiscent of a year ago when the Buffs dropped back-to-back to Michigan State and the ASU Devils. They lost to GCU in a tough one on Saturday, and on Monday afternoon, slow starts to each halves have been the Achilles heel for Colorado.
Yeah, like we said earlier in the day, Joe, that first quarter really is the difference right now. If that's a little bit closer, even a 1 or a 2 goal deficit as opposed to a 4 goal deficit, it's an entirely different game here in the fourth. So, Colorado's got to kind of find a way to get out of that habit of starting slow and really learn how to come out of the gates going 100 miles an hour.
And we're seeing different problems than we had on Saturday for Colorado, which I guess is endearing because you fix the problems you had, but the problem is now that you're having different problems.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really a time for Colorado to panic. Obviously, this game isn't over yet, but assuming they are walking away with a loss, it's really not time in the year to panic. You don't want to be hitting your stride in the middle of the season. You want to be peaking towards the beginning of May, and that's usually what Coach John Galvin is good at, is keeping his guys mentally sharp and not letting them get down on themselves after a tough stretch like this.
Back into play. We'll see if Colorado can get something going. Clark Salami will swing wildly. It'll be given up now to Chris Herman. Herman will draw the attention of the defender, O'Brien. O'Brien will chase him down. Makarov has come out of his crease. He'll scoot back there. 1 minute remaining in the fourth. Colorado will be man down no matter what until there are 22 ticks left in the fourth. Buffs need 3 goals. Running out the clock literally is Stanley. Stanley will find his way around Sloss. We're going to get a whistle, and I believe we may get a timeout for the Panthers, and we will. So 42.4 remaining in our fourth quarter. Chapman with a 3-goal lead, and they're on the man up for another 20 seconds exactly.
And the Chapman coach saw there that Colorado had jumped into a double team on the ball and knew he had a timeout to burn, so wisely used it to hopefully give his team a really solid chance to just run out the rest of this clock.
I want to thank everyone on today's production crew for helping make it a great broadcast. Will be our last of the year. That happened really quickly at all our home games here in a 2-week stretch, it seems like. Joey Prechtel on camera. Joey also did color with us last week. Derek Michelson putting together all those beautiful graphics and running the TD board. So thank you for everyone out here. Thank you, Mitch. It's been fun having you in the broadcast booth. I know we joked about it after last year's championship, but it's great to actually see it happen.
Yeah, great for this to actually come to fruition. I remember seeing you just by chance at Chicago Midway Airport when you were on your way back from the national tournament with the men's club hockey team, and you said, hey, we got some broadcasts coming up, and I was happy to do it. So thanks again for having me. It's been a blast.
It's been fun. I mean, there's no better guy to have in the booth than a former player, a national champion, a goaltender. Goaltenders always see the game differently than everyone else.
Bit weirder depending on who you are. a lot of accusations getting thrown around that Colorado goalies are the weird ones of the bunch, but you know, I don't stand by that logic.
I know Brad McNee's at home watching. I wonder what he would say about it.
And it looks like Coach Galvin has taken a timeout right after the Chapman players.
So icing the kicker, so to speak, for Colorado. Coach Hartley, though, will tell his boys to stay on the field, have their conversation, nothing else to talk over. This may not be the last game on Kit Field, though, for Colorado. The RMLC tournament will be held here in Boulder this year, and the first weekend in May. There will be broadcasts of that, I believe, available on montanasports.com. And we're working right now to figure out production for that. So, stay tuned to CU Men's Lacrosse Facebook as well as the MCLA website to see all those broadcasts and all the information for those games.
And we're really fortunate to be hosting the RMLC tournament here this year, Joe. For the past, at least as long as I attended CU, for the past 4 or 5 years, the tournament has been held in Mesa, Colorado, out there a little bit west. It's the halfway point between Utah and Boulder, which is kind of where a lot of the teams come from. You often see BYU, Westminster, CSU, and Colorado in that tournament, and Mesa was a good middle point, but I guess now it will be rotating back and forth between Colorado and Utah. So glad to have it out here.
We're back underway. Salami, Zembowski down there. Sorry, Lukens down there. They're actually going to get Penn Lukens on some call.
Push with possession, Joe. 30 seconds. That's a tough call coming. You want your guys to be aggressive out there and get into that double team, do everything they can to get the ball back. But Penn Lukens getting called for pushing from behind, and it'll be another man down for the Buffs.
There are 2 men down actually right now. Chris Herman, the captain, trying to fire up the fans here at Kit Field. Modest amount of Chapman Panthers out here. Cheer on their boys.
Yeah, great to see some people making the trip out here from California, or if they're Colorado locals just coming out here to support the Panthers. So good to see them out here.
So the Panthers will run the timeout here. Colorado, bearing a miracle, will start thinking about the road trip to Michigan. They'll take on Michigan State as well as Davenport. Colorado will break the ball up. Colm will scoop it up. Here we go. There's 15 seconds. Can the Buffs do something incredible? Riley will mishandle the ball. 10 seconds remaining up on the clock. Riley's got to go right to the goal. Riley will fire one and a kick save there by Gradinger. It'll go straight up out of the air. It'll be sticked by the Panthers, and time will run out. The Panthers have beaten the Colorado Buffaloes.
And a great game by Chapman. They came out and played 4 really solid, really consistent quarters of lacrosse. There was never a real lull. They slowed down a little bit in the second quarter, but still kept their game up defensively. Never gave Colorado a chance to get back into this one, and they earned this victory here on Kittredge today.
And the real difference was that first quarter. Colorado will lose again the final 11-8. Looking back to that first quarter, though, it's where Colorado just stalled. They couldn't get anything going.
It's really like we said all game. You can't afford to start slow, especially when you're playing a top-ranked team like Chapman. Any team, really, but especially when you get into the elite teams of the MCLA. You just can't afford to give someone a 4-goal lead in the first quarter, because then you can go back and forth the whole game and play good lacrosse, but you started out slow, so it just comes back to bite you, and it looks like that's what happened here today for Colorado.
So exactly a year ago, Colorado was in the same situation, losing back-to-back games. From that point, the team was inspired with a chip on their shoulder to go on what the team affectionately called the Revenge Tour all the way to the National Championship. We will see how this team will respond next week when they go up to Michigan to take on the Michigan State Spartans as well as the Davenport Panthers. For now, though, we'd like to honor our player of the game. Goaltender from the Chapman Panthers, Gus Gradinger. What a game for him.
Yeah, as a goalie myself, you got to send it out to Gradinger. He had a great game for himself, coming off of maybe a little bit of a shakier performance. He hasn't had the best numbers so far this season. It's tough to replace a senior goaltender like Warren Nielsen, but Gradinger today showed us that he's got it. Warren Nielsen is a thing of the past, and he went out there, stepped into the crease, and held it down on the defensive end, and really, really made a difference for his Panthers today.
And that's the type of play that you would want to see heading towards May. The Panthers with a big comeback victory today after losing to the CSU Rams up in Fort Collins. So they will probably stay about level in the rankings. Colorado dropping 2 games here will most likely stay maybe at the 5th possession in the rankings. But, as Coach Galvin says, those don't really matter as long as you make the tournament.
Yeah, always curious to see what's going to happen in the rankings, but at the end of the day, until it's May, the number that's next to your school's name doesn't matter all that much. Coach Galvin just going to be happy to get his guys back out on the field for practice, but they have a tough week. They go on the road, actually, I believe on Wednesday. So they will be back on the road, traveling to Michigan, where they'll play Michigan State and Davenport. 2 big games. Michigan State, we've developed a pretty good rivalry with them over the past couple of years, so they'll be looking to come out and swing really hard, but no downtime for either of these teams. Colorado's going to get back out to Michigan and see if they can turn it around a little bit.
Let's take a look at our Radio 1190 headlines of the game before we're going to honor our seniors. Headlines of the game: final score, Chapman Panthers 11, Colorado 8. Shots on goal about even. Buffs getting 22. Chapman getting 19. Gradinger basically having a 500 save percentage here this afternoon. Shooting percentage was way off the charts, though, for Chapman. They shot 58% here this afternoon. The face-off category was great for Colorado. They won the face-off department 19-4. They won 80. That's an 83% to 17% victory. Clearing attempts, 19 for Colorado, 31 for Chapman. Colorado converted on 16 of 19. Chapman converted on 21 of 31. That's good for 84% for Colorado, 67% for Chapman. Again, our player of the game, Gus Gradinger, a great opportunity for him to come into Boulder and take charge. And right now, though, Mitch, let's take a look at our seniors, our Colorado seniors that will be graduating, class of 2015. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of guys we talked about this afternoon. We'll start off, number 16, Griffin Boehm, a fun guy to talk to. Mitch, what was it like playing with Griffin?
Griffin, a local Boulder boy, and it's always interesting to meet someone who grew up in Boulder and went to Boulder High School. It's such a unique environment, and Griffin really embodies that. He is Mr. Campus around here, gives campus tours to incoming students, works really hard in the classroom, loves lacrosse. He's a goofy guy to talk to. I know for a while last year he was documenting the movements of Coach Galvin or Coach Galvatron, however you want to look at it, but just an interesting guy to be around, and hopefully he comes back soon. He's had a little bit of a hamstring injury, so hopefully we'll see him back out there.
Jay Scan, a senior, hindered by his hamstring, but really firing on all cylinders to get this season started.
Yeah, Jace is a senior leader this year. Stepped into the role a little bit last year, had a productive junior season, but really has come into his own this year, knows what he needs to do to score, knows how to be a leader for these guys, and he's another one. Hopefully he's back to 100% soon so that the Buffs can keep this season rolling.
Rowan Sloss, who's been a top defender for years for Colorado now, he'll be moving on after this year. That's going to be a huge loss for the Buffs to try and replace him.
Yeah, I had the privilege of playing with Rowan, Connor, and Rowan Sloss, Connor Irvin, and Zach Doss, all 3 of whom are seniors today. Rowan is a really special guy, actually a rocket scientist. Really, really smart, academically oriented, especially when he's off the field, and you can see it when he's out there on the field. He sees things that other guys don't really pick up on. He's constantly paying attention, and a big asset, big leader down there on the defensive end.
Austin Kalazzi, who's definitely got the best mustache and style on the team, without a doubt.
Yeah, AJ, another one of those guys who is really that vocal leader. You hear him in the weight room, you hear him during warm-ups, you see him on the field. He's never afraid to let you know, hey, we need to see this, you need to do this a little bit better, a little bit faster, a little bit harder. He's a really vocal guy, always been a leader, always been a presence, and the Buffs will be sad to see him go.
Doug Graves, who was a big part of last year's national championship team, he had a great game this weekend against GCU. I mean, really, the second half of that game might have been the best performance of his career.
Yeah, I think I've said it almost every time that I've been in the booth with you, Joe. Doug is really coming to his own this year. Didn't get the reps that he wanted last year, but was still able to make an impact when he got out there. This year, it's been a completely different story. He's getting his time, he's getting his runs, and he's going out there and producing. Like you said, he had a sock trick in his last performance, a double hat trick. So I'm sure he's not complaining about how his season has gone so far, barring the last 2 games, but really a player that has come here to make a difference his senior year.
And playing on the attack core with him this year as part of the new look for Colorado, Mitch Erickson. Erickson and Graves moving the ball back and forth all year long. Mitchie, though, doing a good job stepping up into the attackman role and playing well.
Always. Mitch was a midfielder who had a big impact on our campaign last year. 2 goals in the national championship game that proved to be crucial, one of them coming in the first quarter and the other one in the third. But just an all-around great player, not afraid to get back onto the defensive end of the field. Definitely looking to produce a little bit more than he has been this year, but he's got an incredible shot. I can say from experience, it doesn't feel too good to have one of those ring off your thigh. So Mitchie's a great player offensively and defensively. So looking forward to see what he can do with the rest of his year.
The other great offensive player for Colorado, number 5, Riley Combe. He's got that neon head and shooting strings, and he's a lot of fun to watch when he's working around the crease.
Yeah, Riley's an impressive player. More so than anything, Riley's an impressive athlete. He puts in the extra time in the weight room, especially over the summer, always looking to get better and faster, stronger. And it shows when he goes out there. He plays incredible defense. He's incredibly aggressive, and his shot is also something special. He can move at 100, 105 miles an hour on the run, and he's a real impressive player to watch.
Back on the D-core, Connor Irvin. Irvin, as we highlighted here this afternoon and all year round, He's been a captain on this team this year, and he showed why. Connor Irvin, really the senior defense leader out there with Rowan Sloss.
Yeah, I touched on it a little bit earlier, but Connor Irvin, we were lucky to get him as a transfer from Colorado College after his freshman year. He didn't like the environment over there, didn't think it was as competitive as he wanted, and actually came over here to the club ball side of things and realized that he liked it a lot more and started making an impact from day one. He's arguably our best on-ball defender that we have on this Colorado squad, and he goes out there, you'll never see him get burned. He goes out, he's always making a difference, always has his stick up, and goes out, lays the body out there sometimes too, but an excellent player to have in front of you if you're Jensen Makarov.
And our 9th and final senior to highlight here on Senior Day, Chris Lefebvre. Lefebvre, a senior midfielder who is one of those guys that brings it in practice every day and has helped make this team as great as it has been.
Absolutely. Lefebvre, maybe not one of the guys you see getting the most runs at the midfield, but he's also a guy who leads the way in the weight room. He's the one that'll go out there and tell you if your form isn't good, because his form is right. He knows how to go out there and really put up the numbers, and that's a big part of what our guys do. They're always working in the off season and in the regular season as well. So Lefebvre helps to keep them focused in the weight room and at practice, and is a vocal leader, especially for the younger guys.
We were expecting possibly an interview after the game, but considering the loss, I don't think we're going to see that here. So I guess we will sign off. Alongside Mitch Fenton, I'm Joe Paris. That'll do it this year for our broadcasts. Real quick flash in the pan. It's been a fun one, though, Mitch. Hopefully we have a different schedule next year and we can space this out a little better.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I was very lucky in my senior year to have quite a few home games, and as it would have it this year, the seniors are experiencing what it's like to travel for, roughly 66% of your games. So too bad that we couldn't do a couple more from here. I'm sure you'll have someone great signed on for the Fort Collins game, or the CSU game that comes at the end of the season. Hopefully you guys get to broadcast that, but it's been a real pleasure.
And Mitch, thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone who's helped make this possible. Everyone in the club sports department, Brian Holster for helping us out this afternoon, setting up everything. Of course, Coach Galvin, who, he got the things. He said, I'll give you the things, and you guys put it together. We got all our Ethernet and all our power. Of course, Derek Michelson, who worked tirelessly. Basically everything we told him to do, he took care of. Joey Prechtel, who has been a Twitter guy, he's been a Facebook guy, he's been a camera guy, he's done it all. It's been a really fun run for us here, the 2015 regular season. We hope to talk to you guys again soon. Tune in tonight at 6 p.m. on Radio 1190 AM in Boulder or online at radio1190.org. We'll further break down this weekend as well as the rest of the MCLA to talk about what this weekend means for Colorado, Chapman, GCU, CSU, and all the top MCLA teams in the country. But Signing off, I guess, for the final time this year alongside Mitch Fenton, I'm Joe Paris. Make sure to stay tuned on Twitter at Mitchie_Bags and at Joe Paris. Of course, your home for CU Lacrosse at CU Men's Lacrosse. Guys, it's been a fun one. Final score from Boulder, 11-8 in favor of the Chapman Panthers. Again, the Buffs will go on the road to Michigan, where they will take on the Michigan State Spartans and the Davenport Panthers. Enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon alongside Mitch. I'm Joe. Go Buffs.